Coach.
Yay,
Coach
we're live! Woo, we're live! Woo, yeah, woo!
Oh, I gotta switch my other headphones. This is dropping out.
That's good. See you later there.
Keep
The
Justin.
man has to go, whatever. Anyway. So Cheech, good to have you back. You woke up from April 20th. How was your national holiday?
Survived.
My national, I enjoy myself all the time.
Did you work?
All the time, Lance.
Did you work or did you have the day off?
He took a day off from it. I'm just reverse holiday.
If he actually went to work on 420, I'd be very surprised. I figured.
I worked.
Did you? Yeah.
I got kids. I work with kids. No, I got a real job. Lance just makes it sound like I'm Cheech and Chong everywhere.
He's just Cheech, not Chong.
Yeah. Yeah, give me some credit. I'm calling you Cheech, the actual semi-respectable part of that group.
Yeah.
So,
Tommy Chong's funnier.
Tommy Chong is funnier.
Maybe, yeah, sure. How's everybody doing?
Man, look at all that bright light in your office.
I know.
I barely recognize it.
What are you talking about? You're talking about my this is my paint station, obviously.
We're just used to see the back of your head all the time.
Yeah.
What now?
It's the backside of your office.
Head all the time.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, and yeah, technically, well, yeah, I mean, my ultimate gaming table now has been pushed back like another couple of months, so whatever. But I do have a board. I should, I'm trying to look at the computer, but I should actually kind of turn and stare. Hi, hey, no, it's a board game flea market at the Big Giant. It's called Little Big Wars in Fargo this Saturday. So I'm going to go there and try to sell a bunch of board games on the cheap. And then but I know there's going to be people there that are selling their old minis they no longer want. And I know if I cruise around, I'll find shit to spend my money on, and I don't want to do that because I'm holding out for the new army. The new Sea Elf army when they finally release everything for Age of Sigmar, because they are super cool, like flying.
Aren't we?
Oh, I know, flying sharks and giant turtles and things like that. Super cool stuff. So
yeah, I'm a little miffed right now. I just found out, a friend of mine just posted on Facebook this evening that Ninja Division has this ridiculously amazing great white shark model statue. It's like $400, but they're only taking pre-orders until May 15th, and I had no idea about it, so I didn't have an opportunity to budget it or save for it. And I'm praying that they have some leftovers that I can get when I can afford it, but I'm super bummed.
Quick, start a GoFundMe page. Let's start a GoFundMe page.
Yeah, no, I don't need a GoFundMe page. It just sucks. It's like a 3-foot long giant head of a great white shark breaching the water. It looks really cool. It's nothing I expected from them because they don't have a game or anything that revolves around it. It's just some crazy model they decided to make. It looks amazing. But why it's got such a short window of pre-order, I don't know.
Oh, dude, you can. Well, hey, we'll negotiate our contract with Aldi. And,
yeah,
I'll get them. I'll get them to give you a down payment for it.
That'll work.
That works.
Just do a lifetime contract if he wants to buy the shark for me. I'm totally down for that.
Oh, well, wow, you are cheap.
I am cheap, yeah. Hey, I have sharks. We'll talk.
How much is it?
Sharks.
$3.99. It looks awesome. It's like
$3.99.
It's $399, but it's like 450 millimeters long. It's go to Ninja Division or look at my Facebook. You'll see Derek Osborne posted a link to it. He saw it and thought of me, and it looks awesome. It's really cool. It's giant. So it's just it sucks that I find out about it 16 days before the deadline ends. Because I really can't swing it now. I just bought a new computer, and I just bought a bunch of miniatures trained from some guy that was selling it locally for $300. I just can't do it, but it looks amazing.
I think you need to save your money for this little shark submarine thing.
The shark submarine is awesome. Where is
What do you mean the
I
shark?
gotta
Shark
find
sub?
it.
Are you talking about the Lego thing?
The torpedo watercraft that lets you fly
Oh
like a shark.
God, no! I can't afford one of those. We don't have water within like 4 hours of us anyway.
It's all right. You can move for that.
yeah. But no, that
That thing looks like fun. You'll kill yourself.
it does look like fun, but no, I'm good.
I don't
I'm
see
good on
the,
that.
the thing you're talking about.
Here, hold on.
The water shark thing.
I'll link it. Hold on. Let me just go to my Facebook and pull the link off there.
Yeah, it's really off-brand for Ninja Division. That's
Yeah, that's why I never heard of it. I had no, I'd never in a million years would have thought to look at Ninja Division's page for shark stuff. It's just not the first thing that comes to mind. But
if you go to their website and you put in search for shark, you can't find anything.
No, I know, and that's what's crazy about it. It's like if Derek hadn't linked it. Here, hold on. I'll put the link.
And it comes
probably
with
because I'm not friends with your friend.
USB drive.
Yeah, it comes with a USB drive with like all kinds of cool shark shit and stuff. Here, I just posted it in our chat.
Okay.
And a certificate of authenticity.
I know, and a lithograph poster, which I'd totally hang on my wall. It looks amazing, but
I think it's the authenticity certificate that really makes it because.
But I don't know, and I'm trying to think of the actual dimensions, but it's
a certificate of authenticity of what? That it's a shark.
That it's a fake shark.
It's done by Discovery Channel, Collectibles, something, and Ninja Division. It's just weird that
you can buy it from Discovery Channel later.
Yeah, I mean it looks awesome and it's huge. I'm trying to.
I wish they would have put something in there for scale.
Yeah, well, 450 millimeters.
460 millimeters from the tip of the snout to the tip of the dorsal fin.
Are we still talking about a shark?
Yeah,
it's like 25 inches or 20.
Yeah, it's like 2 feet long. It's pretty awesome.
Oh,
does it fit over your head so you can live inside it? Like where?
No, but I actually have a perfect place to put it if I. No, it'll fit perfectly on top of my arcade machine sideways. It'll look awesome.
It's like a shark fleshlight.
It is awesome.
I feel like that's an oxymoron.
18
Sure.
inches.
You're the oxmoron.
Aw,
indeed.
Hey, it comes in a full color box, just so you know.
Yeah. Well,
it seems a little pricey for what
it does, and that's the thing. Like if it was $200, I'd probably find a way. Yeah, at $400, it's a lot to swing on an impulse, but it does look like the quality's there. I mean, I looked up Silver Fox Collectibles, and they do some pretty good work, and it's sponsored by Discovery Channel, so I'm sure it's probably a pretty decent product. It's just a lot. It's a lot for me right now, at least. If they caught me like 3 weeks earlier, I'd have pre-ordered it, no problem. But I had to buy a new computer a couple weeks ago, and I shelled out a lot of money for that. So it's just not good timing.
Womp womp.
What are you painting there, Lance?
I'm gonna be working on my ghouls here in just a little bit, but I'm actually gonna work on my my bases for my ghouls here in just a moment. Actually,
I'm actually debasing instead of painting.
I had to debase a bunch of stuff just recently.
Is that a new camera?
The one I have right now?
Yeah.
No, same one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the light.
Maybe the light makes it look sharper.
I'm gonna get another one actually, the same exact one, and I've like researched how to have one, so I can have one like above me, like pointing down on like the spot where I'm painting, and then the other one can be like where it is there, so I can have like one side of my stupid face talking, and then the other one with the other thing, and see if people actually want to sit and watch me paint and talk about nothing for an hour or two.
Well, that's what we're doing now.
Don't think.
Yeah, I was just say we're doing that now.
Well, this is kind of like a dry test run, funny guys. With friends like you.
Who needs an enema?
Yeah, who needs an enema? This town needs an enema. Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, what's new, boys?
Movie Pass. The thing is amazing. I'll just
you got grandfathered in, right? Like, because now they limited it to.
Yeah,
I got 4 months
now
or something.
I got to it when they did the whole year, so I'm into it for a year. I got my wife into it a little bit late though, so I gotta contact them and see it. But every good thing you've heard about it, oh my god, it's so true.
Wait, you get a movie pass, you go to 4 movies a month?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? It's still I mean, it was worth it way more back then, but it's still it's $10 a month for 4 movies. I mean, it's still worth it if you go to one movie a month. I mean, let's be real here. If you go see one movie a month, and you will over the summer, it's worth it, guaranteed. But yeah, the one a day is just nuts value. I've seen 4 movies since I got it a week and a half ago. I love it.
It's gonna die.
Yep. Well, actually, I was reading about it today. They announced what might be a new business model, which is actually kind of fucking shady, where they're going to start getting paid by certain movies and have like rewards if you go and see that movie to artificially inflate the box office numbers, which sounds shady as fuck, but I think that could actually be a viable strategy. Like if you're worried your movie is going to struggle, you throw some movie, throw some money there, and
I like that word, struggle.
Throw $1 million to some crappy movie and say, hey, if you go see this with the movie pass, we'll give you 500 extra Regal points or some shit. Yeah, I worry about it going bankrupt, but it's amazing while it's in business.
So hey, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about like how bad Star Wars is, but I am gonna say this.
Please.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to.
Oh wait, no, I said please don't.
Hey guys, I'm not a racist, but I got something to say here. Pretty much what you just said with Star Wars.
Oh, Brer Rabbit, we're heading down the hole.
No. So I read this article where so Rotten Tomatoes, which whether you buy into whether Rotten Tomatoes has the pulse on whatever, you can say it's a bunch of bullshit or whatever. I don't whatever. But anyway, Rotten Tomatoes is technically, a lot of people trust what's on Rotten Tomatoes as far as the representation of the percentages and whatever and the ratings. So there's the critic rating, and then there's like the Joey Bag of Donuts rating. This like guy or gal.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and they post a review, and then they give it a number. And so as of right now, the Last Jedi is actually below 50% and is actually lower ranked than the Phantom Menace, which was previously the lowest ranked Star Wars movie. Yep. So, which means that less than half of the people that have gone to Rotten Tomatoes after and rated the movie gave it an unsatisfactory score. Mm-hmm. But here's one of the weird things. So Rotten Tomatoes has built into their rating system, they have a anti-shill or anti hate whatever. Algorithm that basically after you get to a certain number of 0 or half-star ratings, they don't count them against, because to prevent people from trying to go in there and say this movie sucks, 0 stars, and just trying to drive it down.
Oh, they should do that.
Hold on, Rotten Tomatoes 5 stars.
Yeah. No. So they actually, there was this article and they talked about how if they actually counted the 0 stars or half-star ratings, which admittedly might just be people just going in there and saying this movie sucks shit, just because they want to go.
Lance does work from home during the day.
He's
got lots of time.
7,000 Rotten Tomato accounts.
Yeah.
So
it would actually have a rating of 26%. If
they let every rating,
if they counted every rating,
yeah.
See, I didn't think it was amazing. I thought it was good. I thought it was good, but 26%, that's ridiculous.
It's not the worst Star Wars show yet.
You're too young to hate it, Forrest.
It ranks above the Christmas special.
So here's and they've actually what was the other thing? It was the other weird thing was that they've shown where Kevin Smith went out and did a big giant hour and a half long thing about why he thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then right after it, Disney hired him to do or he had just signed some big contract with Disney to do a bunch of work for them. It was just like, I mean, once
Oh,
again,
really?
could be
Yeah,
coincidence and
yeah.
anything like that, but I mean, it was a total shill thing.
Yeah, he got hired on to do some series, some TV series for Disney or something. It was right before or right after he did his big review of the.
But he's like an Uber fan. You
Well,
can't.
he is. He's a
like
Star
call
Wars
a turd
nerd.
a turd. Yeah, I
He,
mean,
he even admittedly says the prequels aren't that bad. So you kind of got to see where his heart is. He's just a Star Wars fanboy to the extreme.
Hey, I was.
I liked Force Awakens.
Yeah, I did too. But hey, you know what? Let's just talk about how bad Star
we're
Wars
not
is.
talking about Star Wars.
Lance, wait, Lance,
Stop talking about
Lance.
Star Wars.
Lance.
What's up?
At Gen Con, can we reenact the scene of Michael kissing Fredo on the lips, and we'll just get Star Wars to be Fredo, and then you could be Michael, and you could just kiss it and go, "You broke my heart.
You
I
broke
knew it
my
was
heart.
you."
I knew it was you.
I knew it was you. You broke my heart. But anyway, hey, I got there was a Kickstarter a while back that was called the Pirate Republic, and I'm a big sucker for.
Didn't
pirate
that cancel? I thought I backed that and it canceled.
No, I got mine today. I got like the full thing. I got like the dice box, the dice tray that has like the pirate logo in it. The metal pirate chips. The like deluxe giant neoprene mat, and so it's like about 150% the size. Oh man, it looks amazing. I know I just gotta find time to play it, but yeah, I'm excited. So there's that.
I could have sworn I backed that, and the first time it canceled. Like,
oh, I think it canceled the first time, but he relaunched, and
I must have missed the relaunch thing because I backed the original one. And I'm pretty sure I backed the original one, and it didn't fund, and I don't remember the relaunch, or I missed it.
Anthony, what are you debasing right now? Like as far as
they allowed they came up with rules to use chaos cultists in Necromunda.
Okay.
So I was going to buy some and put them together, and then I found someone on eBay selling like a whole bunch of them that they had already pre-painted, and they're pretty decently painted. They need some touch up, but that's okay. But I got like 20 something of them for like $50. So I just bought them from the guy, and now I'm taking them off the Warhammer bases and putting them on Necromunda bases.
How many figures do you need for Necromunda?
You can have, the army boxes and the ones that come in the thing is 10 members in the gang. But when you play an actual game, you do it on points. So you could have anywhere from like 3 to 8 people on the field.
Do you want to have your chaos cultists standing on lava bases?
No, I actually have Necromunda bases.
Because did I tell you guys I found like the perfect crackle stuff now to make here's like a so no, just you probably can't see it. Yeah, but hold on. There you go. So that is like you can make like this one's like supposed to be this one was just a test run. I could make that white so it looked like ice. Cracking, and so like it's like an ice base. But actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna for my ghouls, I was trying to decide between either like a spooky greenish glow type of thing, or just going like kind of a lava base and doing that. But I'm excited because these things look cool, and I'm gonna base my guys like this. Rumor has it that Age of Sigmar is going to go base to base instead of figure to figure and for tournament play, which doesn't mean anything to you guys, but that's fine. I'm excited about that too. Do you guys have Hardee's or Carl's Jr.?
No, Hardee's.
Neither.
Here's the funny thing: we had a Hardee's, and they changed it to a Carl Jr., and it's right next to the auto dealership. So I was getting my car service one day when I was watching people just like trying to figure out like what happened to the Hardee's.
Like,
no, that's it. Hardee's. Same place.
Yeah, we don't have Carl. We have Hardee's, not Carl's Jr., which is it's the same thing, but it's just
like checkers and rallies. They're the same place.
I don't know what that is.
It's a southern restaurant. It's got really good seasoned fries, but it's just like a fast food.
They used to
place.
have really good burgers when they used to do everything on sourdough bread. They don't do it anymore.
Buford. Oh, the big Buford.
Yeah, the big Buford. Yep. Yeah. When in Florida we had them. We don't have them up here. We got the rallies here, but they don't have Checkers up here. Checkers was amazing.
And their fries, when they first came here, I thought their fries were good. Now I think they're gross. They're like
they probably
like taking mashed potatoes and squirt them out into hot oil and squirt it out batter like a mashed potato string and then deep fried because they're not a real potato.
Yeah, it sounds good, and their seasoning was great.
I guess we have
because what's wrong with them is they soak up so much grease.
They do.
That you could just squeeze the things and lube your car.
That is correct.
That's how you know they're good.
No, they're not good. They're kind of gross.
Yeah, you got to eat those things fast, or else they'll just go.
Yeah, and if they're not flaming hot, they're disgusting.
You feel very strongly about this.
Yeah, I do.
It's good though.
I just ate at rallies on Sunday.
So Hardee's is the same as Carl's Jr.
Yeah, same place, different name.
They have the chicken and everything.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Never knew that.
It's weird. I don't understand why they do it because it's the same. Maybe it's just to be able to get multiple locations, like, for kind of like how some stores will have alternate names so they can get 2 spots in a mall since they would only be allocated 1. I don't know why for a restaurant that's self-sustaining like that. But yeah, I've seen Checkers rallies in the same city. I've seen Carl's and Hardee's in the same city, and I just don't understand why they have the name change.
Oh, it looks like Hardee's is basically west or east-ish. Carl's Jr. is the western states in Texas.
And the Northeast is split between them.
They started out as separate entities, one in the east and one in the west, and I guess they ended up merging.
Huh.
There you go.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah, my dad lives in a town where there's one Hardee's, and that's
Here
like
you
the
go.
only place to go eat.
So Carl's Jr.
More
bought
common.
Hardee's, but they expanded, but they didn't want to piss off the Hardee's customers, so they just left their name the same. They moved in and started introducing the Carl's menu items to Hardee's. So there you go. Isn't Google amazing?
Google is amazing.
Is that a Wikipedia thing?
It's from Mental Floss.
Oh.
But there you go.
It's fascinating.
So Aldi went to the gathering of associates last week, right? So did you see anything cool?
I did see cool things.
So tell us about.
What do you want to know about?
Tell us your top 3 coolest things.
Top 3. Number 1. I'll start with number 3. What's number 3?
We weren't there.
Oh, Menara.
Yeah, that's the best part. We weren't there.
I wish you guys could all come. I really do.
What was number 3?
Menara.
What is Menara?
It is MENARA.
And what is it?
I think that's how you say
It's about
it.
Hanukkah?
Yeah, I was just going to say the menorah. That's Jewish.
No, it's one off from, and it's sort of got a menorah type thing where you're building a Via Paletti type structure.
Oh, that's where you're building the little tower thing.
It's very good. I was very skeptical about it. It's sort of reverse Via Paletti, where you're, well, not reverse. You're building upwards, but you're cooperating to do so. And there's some cool rules, and if you ever scrub something, you make it higher. Your requirement goes higher. So you start off with you need to build 3 levels, and then if you screw something up, you now have to build 4. It's really neat. I made my brain melt there because I'm trying to think of how to win it in my head, right? And of course, without actually building the structure, it's hard to visualize what you need to do. But it's very good. You guys should all play it. I bought a couple copies. It'll be at spring, so when you guys come, we can all play.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't get invited.
Oh well, you're invited. Right, you're invited. Come on. It's cool.
Maybe you can play with your special guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Spiel des Jahres guys are coming.
We're gonna try to work that.
Your bed seems pretty full right now, so maybe
yeah, Aldi, do you want to? After you finish your top 3, you probably should also inform the audience if they haven't heard of your announcement already. because
I think
I'm sure there'll be a lot of inside jokes
Yeah.
going on about it. So you might as well.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
I'll let
Everyone,
Lance
everyone
announce it.
knows
I
about
want to
it.
hear Lance's words.
Oh God.
My Twitter was full of it today. Everyone knows about it.
Not everybody.
My mother called me from Detroit.
I'm sure our two viewers know
She's like,
about
"Who is this Rodney guy? Do you know him?
He looks like such a gentleman.
He's
I'm
apparently
sure our
working
team
with that guy who
viewers have
posed in
heard.
his underwear that time."
No, what was I
All
gonna
right,
say?
Minara. Yeah, Minara is great. Give it a
Number
try.
two.
It's a Zook. It looks like Via Paletti.
That's what I thought you were
But
playing
it's
at
very
first,
cool.
and I realized it was a different game.
Yeah, it's totally, and it's better. I like it a lot better. And it's a super hard game too. Like I think I played it 4 times before we won. It's got one weird rule that I don't agree with, and I think I almost would rather just leave that rule out of the game. But it's there. If you crash the tower and you have a valid winning condition, you win. Like I don't think you should win if you crash the tower.
Hey, you won Board Game Geek. Just put it in the FAQ on there.
Yeah, just make shit up.
Yeah, it's a weird rule, and I would wonder. I would wonder why the designer
Official
put it
rule
in.
change.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number
Key
2.
Key
Don't
flow.
do that. That's not. He didn't acquire that.
Say
Problem.
Keyflower?
Key flow.
Key
It's
flow.
Keyflower, the card game.
Key
And-
flow.
It is great. If you like Keyflower, it's very similar in structure, but not the structure. What is the word? There's the game. The part of the game where after you bid and you get the stuff and you put it in your city and you activate it and you do all the fun stuff. It's just that they took out all the bidding. It's a drafting game now. And you're building this kind of city with a river next to it. It's very cool. Like you'll draft a card, you'll activate a card, you'll draft a card, you'll activate cards. Super quick. Takes out the bidding part, which I like the bidding, but I didn't love it. I hated the back and forth of it. Like I just want to be done with the bidding and do all the fun stuff. So it's just purely that. Richard Brees bought it. It was great. I think that's an Essen release. If not Gen Con, I wasn't sure. I think it. I mean, it's done. It is Essen.
It's Essen. They said it.
Yeah, it's very good. And I don't know if the final name is Keyflow or Keyflower card game. Not sure what they decided on, but he was calling it Keyflow at the time. Number 1 is Detective.
Oh, Ignacio's game.
Yeah. It's exactly the kind of game I want. It is a kind of modern day Sherlock Holmes consulting detective, but it has a resource management type thing where you get special abilities and time is your resource and you spend time or whatever to do stuff. So we played through the first chapter of the 5.
Okay, it
5
was
chapters
the actual first chapter from the game.
Yeah, it took about 3.5, 4 hours, I think.
Oh wow, it's a long game.
Oh yeah, it's you're in this game, like, and it's super immersive because he's got a web app where you can look up dossiers on people and they're known associates, known affiliates, like they're way.
Is it required? Is it app
Wait, is
required?
this Detective City of Angels or Detective a Modern Crime board game?
It is. I don't remember. I think it's
Detective City of Angels is Van Ryder Games.
Yeah, it's a different one.
I played that one too. That one's very good also.
Yeah, that's good.
Modern
too.
Crime board game.
The City of Angels one, it's one versus many.
Yeah.
One person plays the person you're trying to catch.
It's actually not cooperative at all. It's one versus each person. Like each person is unique. They're on their own team, and then you're playing against the
yes,
bad
that.
guy, I guess you could call it. There's a name for it. But this game is a purely cooperative game. You're reading cards, you're searching the web. Like he has all these like references to things that you can search on the web, like the Mariner launch, like 1960 something. You look it up and you read about it. And that has something to do with the actual story, which is cool. So it ties into real life stuff. We did terribly. So I'm going to have to play it all over again, chapter 1, because we messed up. Which is cool, right? Because we only saw, and I don't know if this is necessarily a problem with these kind of games, and it's sort of a problem with Sherlock Holmes. Like if you play it efficiently and you try to just run through the whole game, you don't see the content. Like you'll only get a fraction of the content that they created for this thing. So chapter 1 had like stack of cards, maybe like 50 cards. We saw 15 to 20 of them. So we didn't even see all the stuff. Yeah. So we missed a ton. And you can't see it all. If you're playing by the rules and you restrict, you basically what you do is you decide to do an action and you say, okay, we're going to go to the lab to do, analysis on this thing. Well, you get the card that it tells you to get, and it says, oh, it took you 4 hours to do that. And there's 8 hours in a day. And then you have some overtime hours that you can do, like you can push yourself. But we used up all our time, all our overtime, and we were just stuck. Like we got kind of to a dead end, and we were just like, okay, well, we'll just go to the end game. And the end game asks you a whole bunch of questions about the case. And you answer them, and they're multiple choice.
So you could look into the right
you can
answer.
You could. And he basically told us not to spoil the answers so that we could play it again.
Mm-hmm.
So it just gave us a percentage, and our percentage was like 25%. This is out of 100, right? Like that's how much of the case we got right in our questioning. So we bombed it. Like we just like it. And the stupid thing is like, so it gives you these options to say, would you like to spend your resource, whatever, like hacking, to try to find out more information about this certain thing? And you're like, and part of the game is he was sitting there watching us play, and he was saying, don't chase every rabbit hole. Like you have to piece together the story with this little, time spending on it. Again, don't dig down in every nook and cranny, otherwise you won't figure it out. So we did not listen to that advice, of course. And this is the way I play Sherlock Holmes too, is like I like to see every little piece of the story, because I figured like if the designer's going to write it, I want to see it. So we sort of played it like that, but we were coming up with like plausible hypothetical situations that we believed would happen if we did the extra work. And of course, none of them were correct, right? So we would say, oh, well, this could have happened and that could have happened, so we should do this and we can get more and we could prove it. No, we were wrong. So our minds were like, we had watched too much CSI. Like that's, we were kind of coming up with these crazy ideas. Anyway, so that was cool. Like 3-4 hours. The time flew by. Like, I was looking at my watch, and every time I looked, it was like another hour had gone by. Wow. It was just super immersive. Don't play it in a loud convention. Like, we were luckily able to go off to kind of a side room and like get sort of quiet. But it's really like one of those games you play. You start at like, 6 o'clock at night, go to like 10, 11. That's your game.
It's awesome. Doing it for 100 people at Gen Con.
Oh boy, how is that possible?
They're going to do a
100 simultaneous?
A case that's not part of the thing.
Oh, so a system. Yep, to show the system.
They're going to put it's like 3-hour event.
Oh,
they're going to put people at different tables with stuff, and they're all going to run through the same event and see if they can.
If you have the time, do it. It's awesome.
You know if they're doing anything at Origins, Anthony?
That I don't think anything, because Dex Envoy is running their events.
Damn. Actually,
so I don't know if they have the capability to do it there. I mean, I think the Origins just released their event list.
Oh yeah, it did come out, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't look at it because I don't think I'm going. So
this is a very cool system. It opens up unlimited possibilities for like future, right? Like, because it's a generic system, the website works pretty well for keeping track of your evidence and keeping track of all the people you talk to. You get all their like, rap sheets and their, book, pictures and all their stats and stuff. And clues can be gathered from that stuff. You could gather several clues just from really reading closely their background stories. So there you go. There's my 3. Played a lot more stuff, but it was like those were like the big ones for me.
Can I answer Keith's question?
What was Keith's question?
What's that weird Ticket to Ride box behind you?
Oh, Ticket to Ride. This is the Ticket to Ride demo. I have not opened it yet. It is a miniature version of Ticket to Ride with like a little map very tiny map. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of glary. Is it coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's just
So they can teach people how to Ticket to Ride in stores.
It's a 15. It's a 15-minute version, Ticket to Ride demo version.
Yeah, it's part of their Asmo Play program.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Neat. Good. I get sent. My friend sent it to me. So there you go. Oh, and should I make my announcement? And I'll stop talking for a while. You guys can talk.
Yeah.
So today we announced that we're partnering up. Well, I shouldn't say partnering. We're powering up with Rodney Smith from Watch It Played. Working together. He's going to be doing his gameplay videos, tutorial videos. We're going to be creating some new stuff together. And we're like super excited about it. And he's going to be coming to conventions and stuff. And he'll have a, he'll be in our booth. And
does this mean we'll possibly see Rodney on the Boom with you at some point in the future?
That's up to Lance. Lance invites him. I'm sure he'd come on. He's in another time zone ahead of us, so who knows?
Yeah,
he's in the same time zone as me. He's Eastern time.
No, he's an hour ahead of us. Pete.
No, he's 1 hour up.
Is he?
Yeah.
Prince Edward Island is actually an hour ahead of Eastern time.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He's in Atlantic or whatever it is.
Oh, I didn't know.
Like that. It's in PEI time is what it's in.
Pie time.
Hey, I got a question on this, Aldi.
Yeah.
So are you going to have, like, if there's a Watch It Play video on BGG, is that video going to be popped out from the normal video section on a game page? So that it's featured more prominently?
I will say most probably yes. We want people to learn how to play games. That's the biggest problem we have. Have you guys ever... You guys know this problem. People don't know how to play the games. They play by the wrong rules.
People don't know how to play games play by the wrong rules.
I don't think I've ever played a game right ever in my life. Even after I played like Great Western Trail, I played it 5 times.
You'll forget something.
Someone watched me playing it at another convention, and it was like, "You're playing that wrong." I'm like, what? So
that creates an interesting dynamic in the Watch It Played market. I mean, he dominates it for the most part, but there's quite a few other people. That's going to be a big disadvantage. I mean, I'm not saying in a bad way.
I'm not saying
like Rodney stuff best, but it's just interesting.
Well, but there's so many games out there. It's not like Rodney can cover even 5% of what comes out in a given year or month.
Even with the extra time he's saving from not having to crowdfund, he's still only going to put out X amount of extra content.
You can only do 40-something games a year.
Right.
That's almost 1 a week.
Plenty of games for everybody else.
And I've talked to him about his production, and I know and maybe I can help speed him up a little bit with some suggestions and some tech stuff. But it takes a long time.
What's a question for you guys? Do you guys know if there's anybody who does like a really quick and dirty Watch It Played videos? Like I don't give a shit about the publisher or who made it or the theme, just like under 5-minute kind of stuff.
The rules girl does that.
Okay, but she does that for really basic stuff, doesn't she? I've seen some versions they've
also. Yeah, you have to kind of limit the.
Well, to do it in under 5 minutes, it can't be. You can't teach Twilight Imperium in 5 minutes.
I'm going to teach Feudum in 30 seconds.
I mean, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into gateway games when you're doing a 5-minute tutorial.
Yeah. Do you want to learn the game from that kind of thing, Forrest, or do you just want to learn about the game?
I don't know. I've always considered doing some of them, but just in a very kind of informal, just get it done quick as hell kind of way.
Yeah, that's what your wife told me.
I thought about it too. Like, I want a video for every game that teaches me the game, like at least from the high level of like what I'm doing, not marketing speak, right? Like 5 minutes.
Say high level. Are we talking about high level?
Forrest, I got the perfect name for your segment. We'll call it Forrest's Quick Tokes.
I got to move to a different state for it.
No, it should be Forrest. Hey, I got to run to my car for a second.
But anyway, Keith, yes, you were correct. There's some plans that I have not told everybody yet, but there's one I leaked out for you.
Oh wow! So the Boom got an exclusive.
Yes,
exclusive announcement.
Look at that.
We actually worked on programming of that part today.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a good relationship, and you get that.
And I think
that
it's
currency exchange is in your favor. So as long as we keep that, you can afford it. If
Well, I mean-
Canadian dollar ever gains any ground, though, it might get pricey.
I think it's interesting how good he is compared to everybody else who does it, for the most part. Like, I mean, I watch a lot of them, especially for some of the games, and it's just some of them are just so bad, and he just does it so damn well, and I just feel like he's substantially better.
I don't know how he did it, but he definitely. And I've never gone back and watched his old stuff, but to see if
his old stuff was still good.
Good, yeah.
I watched his very first video. I think it was Marvel Legendary, one of the first couple at least that he did, and he was excellent at it back then with bad tech and much cheaper equipment, and it's just gotten better and better.
I mean, he's come a long way from broadcasting inside Hulk's pants, and so
I remember
we'll get that.
the green walls. Yeah.
He knew a little bit about video when he started. He had a passion for games. He put it together, and he quickly made it a full-time job. And that's your key, is if you've got the skill, then the equipment is something you can acquire. And usually the biggest limiter for people is time. So if you're able to make it your job, well, of course, you're going to be better than everyone who doesn't make it their job, even if they have equal talent.
But his biggest point that I think really drove him into the success he had is that he went for a quality over quantity. He didn't spew out a bunch of content. He put out quality content on a timely basis, and I think that's why he rose so quickly to get to be as popular as he is because it wasn't because he was just flooding you with content. He was giving you good, solid content on a regular basis. I know that's
no one else was doing it then.
Yeah.
Early on, it was, he was the first one that really focused on just teaching you the game, and that's it. And then early on, it was teaching you the games as well as doing a playthrough of the game afterwards. So he'd teach you, they'd play it through and let you help control stuff in the comments early on. So you'd comment on the video, then he'd shoot another video with the kids. That's right.
Real big fish sighting. Loving Anthony.
Oh,
you guys are terrible.
I
didn't do anything. What do
you Lance, he told him to play that. I see it in your hand. I can read the IM.
Busted.
I honestly didn't. I was.
No, he did not.
I know. I'm just kidding.
You want me to show you the text he sent? No.
That's
I finished my first crypt horror. I'm happy with it. Now I got to make a base for him.
So I did give Rodney. I razzed him every once in a while because I said, if you think about it, I doubt anyone on the planet has ever taught more board games than Rodney at this point.
Lance has taught quite a lot.
Lance has taught a lot, but for pure teaching, with the number of subscribers, number of views, and the length he's been doing it for teaching of games, I'm not sure anybody could touch that. A live person can't touch, the fact that they're persistent. So it would be hard to touch the number of teachings that he's done.
Well, we recorded a thing last week talking a little bit about what we were planning on, and like me and Lincoln struggled through like one paragraph. Like we kind of wrote our thoughts on like a little Word doc, and then we recorded it. And I struggled through a paragraph, Lincoln struggled through a paragraph, and then Rodney just like he looks at it for like 5 seconds, maybe 10, and then just boom, first take, done. Maybe 2 takes, but like the smoothness of his delivery, I'm like, how do you do that? Like it's
not something you can teach.
It's a talent. No, you cannot. I mean, I think you can get better at it. Like if you are determined to be a board game teacher person or a reviewer, you can definitely get better at it. But talent definitely helps.
Is that how you put it on your resume? Board game teacher person?
Yeah, I think that's a good title.
Board game dude person.
Board game person.
Board game teacher person.
So anyway, yeah, we're excited. I mean, this has been in the works since last year, mid last year, late last year.
it'll be good for
About
everybody.
6 months. I think so. We're excited.
Now Lance is on the floor.
I know. What are you doing?
Oh, my power supply got unplugged, so my computer was dying, so I had to go plug it in.
Because that's trademark infringement, because I'm the one on the Alaboom that falls on the floor.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't fall like your clumsy ass. I just crawled down here. Hold on.
I only flipped a chair. No, I just don't shoot from that room.
So how's Barry doing? I haven't seen him on in a while. Has anyone talked to him recently?
Wasn't he on last week? I know you guys were on the buyers. You were.
Yeah, it was just me and Lance last week.
He was on the week before.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the weeks I was out.
Talked to him right before I left. Yeah. I mean, he's not doing great.
Well, it's Barry. You know, when things are at their worst, he's at his best.
What the hell is Cheech
What
doing?
is Forrest doing?
I have no idea.
He's like wallpapering.
He's setting up the games with the video. And I had to make sure that Nicolas Cage was straight.
He's probably digging his way out of a pile.
Have you scratched the surface on any of those games in your pile there?
I've reviewed probably
The pile is just so monstrous.
40 to 60 games over the last couple months. I mean, that's still the pile. It's still my, and then that's just.
Are you getting rid of them after you do them? Or are you?
What I do is, I mean, we use a clip chart in my classroom. So you make good choices, you clip up, make poor choices, clip down. And what I've done is, if you clip off the chart, you get a game. And so I've been taking a lot of this stuff and sending it home. And I mean, it's so cool because some of these kids, they don't have any damn games at home. And so taking a game home, it's like the parents like, wait, we can keep this?
Are you using clothespins or like roach clips?
I make sure I teach the kid the game before I pick it up. I've taught a couple of the parents the games when they pick them up, and it's really cool.
Mommy,
no, I still
Mommy,
work
Mr.
through it.
Cheech gave me code names after dark.
Damn good teacher. I don't care what anybody says. No, I was trying to fix my poster over there, but it's seen better days.
Oh, poor Nicolas Cage, man. He's
Actually, I went to the Midwest Gaming Classic a couple weeks ago, and I have a replacement poster that is going up in a month or two when I hit 5,000 subscribers.
Is it the same poster?
No, it's the Notebook.
It's National Treasure 2.
Treasure 2.
How is it up anyway? What is the purpose behind that? Just it's goofball.
Likes
Or,
Rachel
It's the
McAdams or something.
goofball, but honestly, a guy that I know in Wisconsin is willing to use this giant 3D printer to actually print me up a good, fancy looking one. So he said he'd be willing to do it for free if I picked it up because we're friends. So I'm actually gonna get a fancy, good backdrop and actually really attach it and have something nice up by the end of the year.
no.
I'm getting a lapel mic by the end of the year. Like I'm stepping up my game slowly but surely. But yeah, Nicolas Cage in the Notebook will be
He's
no more.
getting himself BGG empowered ready.
Looking for the buyout.
No, I wouldn't sell the BGG. I'd only go boardgaming.com or bust.
Okay. Killing me, guys.
No, I think it's a cool decision. I'm glad because I mean that's really what you do want to highlight. Looking at it from that perspective, people type in Ticket to Ride, they're going to get the Amazon, and then they're probably going to get like the Board Game Geek, and if the first thing they see is how to play it, I mean that's just very inviting. I think it's a really cool merger. I like it, or whatever.
Murder?
It's a
Murder.
Did you say merger?
It's a good murder.
Hey, I'll have you know that boardgaming.com is catching up to Board Game Geek. As of right now, that website is worth an estimated $14,000.
Are they still updated? It's still a thing.
I don't know, but I just looked up on Worth a Web.
Is
I've
it
never seen
behind
anything.
the-
I've never been there actually. I'm gonna go check it out now. I'm now curious.
It's got some good
It
stuff.
looks the same like it did 6 or 7 years ago.
I don't think it's been updated in 3 years.
I don't know. Seventh Continent's #2 on popularity behind Ticket to Ride Pocket.
Wait,
What's
what the hell is
Ticket to
Ticket to Ride Pocket?
I don't know. It's when you
That's
put
the-
Ticket to Ride trains in your
Oh,
pocket. and
the
plays yourself.
digital version of Ticket to Ride.
Oh, yeah.
Digital version. Hey, I got the Scythe beta. I haven't for Steam. I haven't played it yet.
I'm debating. I was gonna pick it up. They have it on the virtual reality Steam store too. So I was thinking about trying it out.
Has anybody played the Terraforming Mars yet?
No.
I was gonna get a code
because I
for
can't get
Steam,
into
but
it.
I'm holding out for iPad.
Yeah, I only have iPads here.
The last update from BoardGaming.com was on January 26th of 2018.
I don't remember.
Take that.
Who's taking that? Like who?
I don't know. I mean, as I understand it, it's like a labor of love for the people who are running it.
I
They
love
added
these
games on April 19th. So
You should just buy it out like Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. Let them keep
Buy
the
it out,
name
redirect
because you
it.
just own it.
14 grand, Aldi. It's a steal.
I bet they take 7. 7.5.
I'll be right back, guys.
Hell, 14 grand.
I'm sorry, we drove Lance away.
What will we do now?
I don't know.
hey,
See-
Origins
see, you
is
know
less
what's
than 2
really-
months left.
Really hard.
What's hard?
Jury duty after coming home from a convention.
Wait a minute.
I thought it was a good idea when I made the postponement to like defer past because my dad was in town when I first got it, so I deferred it to Tuesday. Yeah.
How much jury duty did you actually do, though? I remember seeing a few Facebook pictures that
No,
say
no.
otherwise.
But the problem with jury duty is you have to wake up at 6 a.m. to make it to the courtroom.
Ugh.
When's the last time you
poor
got a-
baby.
Come on,
Aw.
guys! I live the nightlife. Come on. I mean, I'm a late nighter.
He likes
Don't
to
you-
nightlife.
I like the nightlife. I like the boogie. Yes.
Don't you have like staff to like wake you up and like make you breakfast, wash your dick for you and stuff like that?
Do I give off that kind of air that I have that kind of crap?
The only time Aldi sees 6 a.m. is that's when the last thing when he closes his eyes to go to sleep.
Making the
royal
yeah,
penis
what-
wash,
exactly. About to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't even message Aldi before like 1 p.m. my time. I'm sure it's still-
No chance I'm responding before 1.
No.
Well, Aldi posts at like 6 in the morning. You're like, oh my god, what's wrong?
Yeah. Exactly. EDG was down. Still, I was staying up all night fixing it.
Oh man.
So it was interesting. I hadn't been to jury duty in approximately 2 years. I pretty much get called like on clockwork every 2 years. They now, of course, they have active shooter instructions on the wall. Like, they had this screen that was just cycling slides at the beginning. Active shooter instructions. So I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. Got to worry about that now. And then they do the presentation of like what it's like to, why you have jury and voir dire and all that stuff. But after that was all done, like that took a good hour. At around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, they started playing YouTube videos of nature scenes and all the sounds of nature scenes. I'm like, are they trying to put me back to sleep? Like, I'm like trying to keep my eyes open. Please hurry. Like, call my number and get me out of here.
I've never been called for
my number was 43, so I'm like, okay, I'm going up, and I got impaneled. I went into a courtroom. There was first of all, the bailiff was really weird. He was super country boy, and he could not pronounce anybody's names. Like, if you could get it wrong, he got it wrong, like in every possible way. And then he would look at the sheet and he'd go, "Oh, hell no!" Like the name, like, what? You don't even like. I'm gonna try butcher.
Cranches McBasketball.
Yeah,
How do you mispronounce Scott?
Super. Well, he got mine.
Aldine.
Scout.
He said something like Al.
Scott Aldine.
Yes, pretty much. That was it. So I get in line, or they started calling out names, and then they reshuffle it. Like, they called about 15, 20 names. And I'm like, oh, good. I mean, I will do the jury duty if I have to. But if I'm near the end and I don't even have a chance to get picked, that's cool too. So I'm kind of like, oh, if I'm over 20 or 30, then they're like, usually I'll never get picked because they don't, they only cancel out a couple people and they have to do them in order up to the numbers. And then the judge comes out, or one of the assistants says, they reshuffle the names. You got to redo. Like, oh no. Okay. So I'm juror number 3 after the reshuffle. I'm like, okay, I'm on this jury, whatever. Luckily, they said it was a one-day jury, a one-day case. It was a lawsuit over a car accident with a chiropractor or something or other. But anyway, so they asked me a bunch of questions because when you're in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position, you're the ones they ask the questions for. They asked me a bunch of questions. If I had ever gone to a chiropractor or a car accident, what does my wife do? Is she a plaintiff's lawyer? Or is she a, all these stuff? And then after I told them that my wife was had worked as a plaintiff's lawyer,
attorney, you're out.
I became invisible. I was invisible after that. They skipped me. They didn't ask me any more questions, and then I was like, okay, I think I'm not going to get chosen.
Advantages of having a lawyer wife. They'll never.
But they asked me, so I did not. I was not forthcoming with that. Like I was just like there because they have all your information, right? Like, oh, you're married to an attorney, huh? What kind of attorney is you? You know, like that kind of questioning. So I'm like, oh. Anyway, so I decided to just take day off. Walked around downtown Dallas, walked around the West End, ate some food truck food, and had a margarita. So it was a good day. And the weather was awesome for Dallas. Like it's never that nice. It's either super hot or freezing cold. Yeah. There you go. Jury duty. But I would have been on the jury, no problem, if needed. I don't have a problem doing it. They were taking applications for grand jury. Have you guys ever known anybody that's been on grand jury?
My father used to do grand jury, said it was the best thing ever.
Really?
It was his favorite thing because he actually went and did something.
Yeah.
Like, because back when I was a kid, I remember him going. And I remember really going to regular jury duty, and you went the whole week. It wasn't like we don't need you anymore. No, it's like you're scheduled for this week. You're here for the week.
Wow. Oh my God.
But at least grand jury, he'd go and he'd get on everything. So he was always on a jury. He was always hearing a case.
Yeah.
Or at least the evidence for the case.
Yeah,
proceed.
They present the evidence to you, and then you decide if it should be tried, right?
Yeah.
Like it should go to an
actual jury for decision. Yeah.
They're like it's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4. I'm like, oh, 6 hours a week. That's kind of a lot, right? I mean, like, I guess if people have time and want to do it, but I don't see myself ever doing that kind of thing. Just seems like a lot of commitment.
Yeah, because it's not like you sit there for multiple days on the same case either. You sit there for like a couple of hours. They go through everything they have, and you're like, yeah, sounds like you got enough to make.
Yeah. But anyway, they were asking for applications, like, so you could apply to do it, but only if you couldn't like give someone else's name, because like I've got friends who need jobs. They don't have a job, so that would be a good job if you just had to do a couple hours a day. And I think it paid like 15 an hour or something like that, 10 an hour, 12 an hour, 12 an hour, something like that.
So what do they pay in Texas for jury duty for the day?
I forget. I think it was like $40.
It's more than they pay here.
$40. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $5 in South Carolina.
I think it's like $12 here in New York.
I think your first day is like something like single, double, like teens, but then after that year it's $40 a day. Or you could donate it. I think I donated it my last time. When you're actually on the jury is when you get the 40.
Right. But if you're getting paid by your employer, you automatically have to donate it. You can't take it.
Oh, really?
Yep. If you're self-employed, obviously.
Right. Texas may be different because they just handed me the sheet. Like, what do I want to do with the money? Where to mail it?
Well, it's one of the things they kind of do here when they do your application thing, and you have to fill out the questionnaire part. It asks you if you're full-time employed, and then it asks, does your employer reimburse you for your time spent on jury duty?
And then you have the option, or they don't even give you the option.
You don't even get the option. It just says that your whatever money has been credited to the thing because you get paid for it.
To the human fund.
It goes to some kids thing here, so feel good about it.
Yeah, no, it goes to something here too. It goes to the Benevolent Society for the Court Workers, Benevolent Society. So they do things for charities and stuff. Widows of the court officers and stuff like that.
So I kind of wonder what the cost of having a jury trial is, just from a taxpayer standpoint. Because my sense was this guy got hit by a car, or he hit somebody, or he was hit by someone. He had a chiropractor diagnose him with a serious problem, and he was suing. And like that's very common from what I understand. Like what is I don't understand. I don't know. And you know, maybe he was hurt, maybe he wasn't hurt. There's only no one can really know, right? A chiropractor can say, yeah, he's hurt, but like in real, reality, like unless you're like broken bones or like, can't walk or something like that, how do you know, right? It's just the guy's word.
But like, what does it cost
what does it cost to put on a jury
taxpayer?
trial like that? Yeah. Like how many hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a day?
Well, here's the thing, because all of those people who are getting paid, I mean, the jury, yes, is getting their jury stipend for the day.
That's a minor taxpayer burden, right?
But everybody else is there already. They're all there already.
The judge's staff, yeah.
You don't get paid for the number of cases you hear. You just get paid your daily salary. If there's no court cases, you still get paid the same thing.
True, but you have to have more staff the more cases you have. So it's not still if you only have to hear one case in the courthouse a week, you're not going to pay for more. You're not going to pay for 8 judges. You're going to pay for 1.
So. No, but those judges the thing is, the judges get paid a salary. They don't get paid for the days they work.
But the more cases that are going through court, the more judges you pay, the more bailiffs you pay, the more recorders you pay, the more defense attorneys.
Here's an example. There was in Georgia, there was a guy who went on trial for the death of his 22-month-old son because he left him in a hot car and he died. That jury trial cost the taxpayers of Georgia $551,000. And that was a
criminal trial? Yeah.
It was
how long was that case?
I'm looking for the actual estimation of the dates. All
right, so I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna roundabout guess what the money went to. So
it's broken down. I've got it right here.
So I'm sure they sequestered the jury.
Prosecution cost $127,000. The circuit court defense cost $275,000. Let's see what else here is.
He took a public defender.
Yeah.
Okay.
$275,000 for the defense.
Defense. The AGC, despite the reduced rate, the defense, even with the reduced rate for the circuit court defense, the defender told the people who were doing this article that the defense cost $275,000. So $275 for the defense, $127 for the prosecution, and then another $149,000 for the court costs and filing fees and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, you got to pay for things like the autopsies. You've got to pay for
all the special people that come in and
all the expert witnesses.
Those experts aren't cheap either. Yeah. Some of them will cost $10,000-$20,000 to make an appearance in court and testify, because of the fact that what they say has the decision of putting someone in jail or even death.
Right.
They charge a high amount of money because that's a high pressure thing.
Right. And they're not actually part of the case.
Nope. They're independent.
You cannot subpoena them to be there.
Right. Yep. So they're coming on their own will. So they charge a hefty fee. I only know that because before I worked for in the board game industry, I worked for a DUI defense lawyer, and the expert people that he would have come in to testify was not cheap at all. It was a large portion of the fees that it costs us. Why lawyers cost so much money, because they pay a lot of those filing fees for their clients and build it into the cost of their fee. So. Most of those guys charge a lot, and even though they still get a lot,
depending which area of law they're in, they pay a ton in malpractice insurance.
Yep, their insurance bill is through the roof. It's more than most people make in a year. They paying in taxes or insurances, different types of insurances depending on what type of law they do. It's not cheap, man.
I was more getting at like the
cost of the actual civil thing. So anytime you're sequestered, that money goes in. And if it's something that has some sort of fee they can bill back to the plaintiff or the defender on the case, they will. The only other thing you have is if you have like a high-profile case, it costs the taxpayers more money because usually the outside of the courthouse requires police barricades and cornering off the press and extra maneuvering of traffic. So those things cost taxpayers more, high profile cases like that. But if there's just a rash of crap going on, you know, it's the same thing. And the other thing, like in New York, sometimes you will literally, if you get picked up on a charge that's, you know, you have to go to court for, that has something that will incarcerate you, and they set bail for you, which they do within, I think it's 48 hours now they have to set bail for you, maybe 24. But you may sit in jail if you can't make bail for 3 or 4 months before your trial even comes up.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm looking at another article, and this was back in 2008. So obviously adjust the figures, but they're saying that a simple automobile case can be quickly resolved and usually incurs a cost of less than $10,000. But that most cases will be in excess of $100,000. And the range goes anywhere from $43,000 to $122,000 for the case, depending on the amount of time in litigation. So this is 2008 figures. So you can,
that's what I'm getting at. This was like I mean, who knows? The guy could be like terribly in pain and damage. Okay, fine, if that's legitimate. But let's just suppose for this argument, he wasn't. And you've got this huge ordeal going on for this guy, and they could have settled it. I mean, I don't even know what he was asking for. I never got to that point. I should have actually stayed around, maybe. I don't know.
That's the whole thing. You get to that point, and literally the judge will hear like the opening stuff, and they get all the information ahead of time.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll just go to them. You go into my chamber over here with your client. You come with your client, and you figure this out now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for us to waste our time with this thing. Figure out something.
Yeah.
A lot of those cases, literally after it starts, they said, I've been into jury duty like 3 or 4 times on like a civil case like that, where they picked us to be in the jury, and then in the middle of I got picked. I went through the thing. And then in the middle of it, they left the room, and they came back in. They go, everyone's dismissed.
Yeah, it happens a lot more frequently than you'd think. I know that the attorney that I used to work for, over 50% of his cases would be settled before they ever got to trial. They would work out something with prosecution, and they would get a deal that was beneficial to both, and a lot of times wouldn't even go to court.
Right.
And it happens a lot. But I don't know if they would even get to the point of picking jury. But
it happens in jury selection a lot, because the person who's defending whatever it is in that civil case only has so many people they can excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And just based on the number of people that have come in and they've talked to already, they know that the numbers are not on their side. And they'll tell their client, look, I can only excuse 3 people or 5 people or 6 people, whatever it is in the court.
But there's a dozen more that are going to crush us.
We're going to lose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make an offer.
Yeah.
Yep. It happens a lot. And those do save the taxpayers a lot of money when they can settle quickly, because then it cuts out a lot of the fees. But unfortunately, it only takes 1 or 2 big cases that go on for weeks that can just basically chew up a budget for an area. You get one high-profile case that goes into court and it gets retrialed, and that could make up for the 100 cases that got dismissed before they even got to trial, just because the expenses. The longer they go, the expenses start exponentially going up.
And again, you have that poor guy who got picked up for something, who has no money to get bailed out, and because the courts are so full, he's sitting in jail. You're paying for him to be in jail and be taken back and forth to every thing that goes on in the court, because he's
paying for suits. They'll even pay for his suit so that he's presentable in court if he doesn't have the clothes. I mean, there's a lot. You'd be surprised how much money in just clothing gets wasted just because they have to be presentable in court.
And you go to that whole process, and if the guy is found not guilty after all that,
that money's just gone.
Yeah.
Law is the place to be if you want to get paid.
Another interesting thing I learned about jury duty is only 20% of the people called show up.
I didn't know there was that low number.
And Texas is one of the leading people of jury duty participation, but it's still 20%. I was like,
that's
what?
Crazy.
Isn't it
illegal? Don't you get fined or something?
No, you get a affidavit. You get not affidavit. You get a
You can get arrested. You get
a warrant on you.
So why? So 80% of the people who get called for jury duty don't show up, and there's warrants sitting out there. Maybe if they even bother to waste the time and money to file them, I'm sure a lot of them don't get filed just because it's another cost that goes out. That
they're not actively looking for you.
No, but
you are in the system. So if something happens,
you get pulled over for speeding ticket and you got a warrant, and you're going to jail.
Yeah,
at least that's the theory. Who knows what reality is? I know. I couldn't believe it. The guy who did the first hour or 20 minutes. It was like a half an hour. It was a half-hour video and then a half hour with Judge, kind of talking about jury duty and how how serious he takes it and how serious we should take it. And he was pretty funny. Like he had a lot of jokes. But then he's like, we're one of the best in the nation for jury duty participation. It's like, but before we pat ourselves on the back, it's only 20%.
Wow.
Like, wow.
Well, the thing that's funny is in New York, like 15 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, they got rid of all the rules that automatically exclude you from jury duty.
All the rules?
So, like, it used to be if you were an attorney, you could not serve jury duty. And they were like, well, why not?
That's not a rule anymore. But you probably would get stricken.
Oh, you get stricken from it, but you still have to go.
Yeah, Michelle goes to jury duty all the time.
But there used to be a thing like those things you didn't go. If you were a doctor, you weren't ever called. You'd get the notification, you'd put on, I am a doctor of oncology. I work here, and you'd send it back in, and they would go, okay, fine.
Yeah, because they assume your time is precious and
well, the best part is the one time I go for jury duty, and I'm sitting in there with a guy in a very nice suit. And we're sitting there. He gets called into the box, the first group that gets called, and they ask questions. And the judge and the attorney goes, do you know any of the parties involved in this case? He's like, yeah, Bob, we played golf on Saturday. And the guy was like trying to keep a straight face. And he was like, he was just so like flustered with the fact that he got called in for jury duty because he couldn't write down that I'm an attorney in your courtroom.
Yeah.
And it was hysterical. I was just sitting there like, and the lawyer's trying to keep a straight face, and he goes, well, yes, I do know you. Formalities.
One woman complaining about her back pain the whole, like every moment she could in the, it was kind of an odd, weird thing that kept happening because the benches were sitting on her just like, real solid wood benches with no, I mean, it's just very hard to sit on, and every like 5 minutes, my back hurts. Can I go? I'm like, no, you can't go. Or they're like, just wait. Of course, they're not gonna pick her. But like, it was kind of funny. It was just like
the worst thing about jury duty
over and over and over again
is getting picked as an alternate.
Oh yeah,
it's the worst. I got it was an alternate on a case once, and I sat there for the thing, and then they went to deliberation, and I couldn't go in there with them, and I wasn't even allowed to talk to the two other alternates.
What?
So like
because if they pull one of you in,
yes,
you can't have any.
We couldn't talk about the case or anything about it. We had to sit there in the freaking bailiff's in the bailiff room and just sit there and wait.
Yeah,
sucked.
So I've been on many trials now. I've been on two criminals, a civil, and I've been in a federal court, state court, and it's just crazy. It feels like I've been doing a lot.
Good night, Keith.
Good night, Keith.
Anyway, you talk about something else.
I don't know where Lance ran off to.
I just find it a fascinating thing, though, like just the whole operation.
He's priming outside, probably.
It is.
He's doing spray paint.
Yeah, probably.
I've done a couple of criminal things, but I've never done anything like major. Usually like drug.
Assault with a deadly weapon. I did
drug things
in college.
Like I'm not one of those people who likes like medical shows where they show things and stuff.
Yeah.
Not my thing. So like I think it would be like interesting to be on like one of those high profile murder cases or something. But I like to sit there and like have to actually look at the autopsy pictures and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it's not for me, man.
Crime scene stuff. Yeah,
I'm thankful I haven't had to do any of that. That would not be my cup of tea at all. My wife would love it. Like she's all into those murder shows and watching all this stuff. I just not for me.
You ever been sequestered?
Scott? Nope.
No.
Good. Neither have I.
The longest trial was 4 days. I think it was the assault with a deadly weapon one. It was like 4 days long. 3 days. The DUI was 2 days. I was like, really?
That's long for a DUI case. Usually
Come
they're settled
on.
in a couple hours.
It was like, I remember the judge kind of made fun of me, because he was saying, "Well, shall we? Would you guys like to take the rest of the day off, or would you like to begin your deliberations? Who would like to begin deliberations?" And I'm like, raise my hand, and then no one else raised their hand. I'm like, what are you gonna like? You, I obviously like wanted to just be done, and it was like, what did the judge say? Despite Mr. Alden's enthusiasm, we shall adjourn until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'm like, oh fuck, really? It's my fault.
Picking you out, those guys.
Or
All
like, yeah, like I
F
feel
me.
like I get singled out a little bit. Like the judge in the last one was making fun of my shirt, and I was like, "What?
Were you wearing a BG shirt?
No, I was not. I was just wearing like a regular polo shirt."
Mhm.
But he was also making fun. He goes, "Oh, I guess he knew that I had been on 3 juries prior to that day, and he's like, "Oh, are you unlucky or something?" And I'm like, "What? Like, does luck have anything to do with it?" Like, it's just a weird. It's weird because they do make you say, "Oh, you got to take this so seriously. It's a privilege to do it." But when you actually get up in the courtroom, the bailiff is like making fun of people. You know, like he's like, "I would rather be at home." You know, like that. You know, he's
Bantering.
like, yeah, the banter is all like, it's not serious or like.
I think some of it's probably done on
The best
purpose
way to get
try
out
to
of it.
keep you lighthearted and not, relaxed so that you don't stress out or overthink things, because that's not going to help the thing go smoothly. If you kind of have to go into it a little bit loose, or else you'll just tighten up and
It was a little bit of comedy and levity.
a little night court going on.
Little night court.
Yeah, he passed away this week, didn't he? The guy, the judge, Harry guy. Yeah,
we were talking about that. Chad Roberts was saying that we were hanging out with Chad last week. All right. Anybody else play games? Anything else?
No, Thanos Uprising. That's all I played this week.
I played that too. It was good.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I was pleasantly surprised for a mass market Marvel game. It really felt kind of cool. I enjoyed it. Played it probably 3 or 4 times now in the last week.
Have you lost?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first game we lost because we played wrong.
Whoops, sorry.
We forgot to pull our guy off after our turn was over, so we were taking damage on other people's turns. So we got completely annihilated. And then we realized, you're supposed to pull your guy off when your turn's over, so you don't take damage every time he moves around. And then we won. And then the last game we played, which was this afternoon, it was close. We were at a point where one of the guys was about to lose 7 people. Like he got hit with the everybody that's blue and red takes an additional damage on top of Thanos. So he had 7 guys. He had 7 guys that were going to go, and he through combinations and bonus tokens and stuff saved 5 of them and only lost 2. But if he had lost all 7, we'd have been 1 away from losing the game, and we ended up coming back. But the one thing we talked about after this last game is that it's hard to lose by getting all 5 gems. We haven't even come close. We've had 2 gems taken, maybe 3, but to get all 6 gems taken seems really, really hard. You'd have to be horrible at the game or playing it on super hard mode.
Yeah. He I think in the back of the book it said to increase difficulty, take away one of the gems or one of the cubes at the beginning. So you only, so you're playing with less cubes. So you only have to get 4 cubes on it instead of 5.
Oh, yeah. We thought maybe another way to increase the difficulty would like let Thanos start with like 1 gem in play already, so that whenever that color rolls, it just starts triggering those abilities. So we're thinking of ways to make it a little harder, but we did almost lose one of the 3 games. We lost the first one horribly because we were playing wrong. The second one we won, but it was a squeaker. The third one we won kind of handily, and then tonight we had a chance to lose, but again, once you have that many heroes, there's usually a way to get out of trouble if you get backed up in damage.
Got some fun.
But we were only playing with 8. I think we needed to do 8 villains. If you try to do all 10, I guess that would probably make it a lot harder because that would be 2 more guys we'd have had to have taken out. I think the base game starts you at like 6 is easy mode, 7 is normal, 8 is like medium, 9 is hard, and 10 is like supposed to be their hard mode. We haven't done 9 or 10 yet, so I think next time we're just going to go for all 10 and see if we can beat it.
10 is the game. Yeah.
I figured 10 is probably the game. It's the hard game, but it's fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's so cool that all the characters are in the game.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. Yeah, I love it.
we actually swapped out all those chips that you're supposed to put on the board. We swapped them out with miniatures. So we found clicks for all 4 of the heroes that you are the team
cool.
leaders. So instead, you actually have a visual.
So you can put the leader token out there.
Instead of the leader token, it's a hero click that's been rebased. So we got Captain America, Black Panther, Gamora, and Doctor Strange. Yeah. So those are the only 4 that are represented by a miniature. The rest are all just the cards. It was cool. It was a nice little touch. I'm surprised they didn't do it because
because
you have this nice Thanos miniature
there. Yeah,
it's almost like scale because he's so much bigger than everyone. It just would have made sense to put 4 miniatures in the game on top of Thanos, and even if it cost $10 more, it would have been well worth it. So
deluxe version.
Yeah, and it's good. Like I said, I like it. I hope they do expansions and add more heroes and stuff.
Solid game. Real fun.
Nope, enjoyed it so far. It's quick too. We played most of the games are done in 30 to 40 minutes, so you can play it 2 or 3 times.
And there's some chunkiness in there, like definitely some like decisions.
There is building the right engine will really change. Like in the beginning, it's tough because you only got your 1 guy and you're only rolling 4 dice, and it takes a while to get that 5th dice. But once you get that, that's when things start to move on. I enjoyed it. I like the grind of it, trying to get your engine built, but also trying to get the easy stuff just to get extra dice. It was fun. Like I said, it was a surprise to me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did.
Yeah, I'm glad I thought it would be.
Yeah, it is. It is. And production quality pretty good. Like I said, don't usually see that in the mass market Marvel games, but USA Opoly did a good job with this one.
Definitely.
Yep.
We forgot the rule that if you lose your entire team, you lose the game.
Yes.
So like, I think we were sitting at like 4 damage on one of the characters, and we're like trying to decide, well, do we recruit? They were like, do we recruit another person or do we just go attack? And Andrew's like, you lose the game if that guy dies. Like, okay, well, who are we going to heal that one?
One of the first games we lost, I was playing Black Panther, and I only had 1 guy, and I took one of those double shots where he hits you, and then one of his villains triggers his ability, hits me again, and it killed my guy. And I'm like, I have nothing to heal him. I can't save him. The gem that came, the Infinity Gem, had come up that turn that doesn't allow you to heal or play bonus tokens. I was boned. Yeah, you're doing me. That comes up. You could lose the game. Like I said, I was playing with Richard, and Richard had 7 guys that were going to die on that turn until he pulled himself out of it. It was pretty hairy. But
I heard the movie's awesome.
The CEO of our company lives in Singapore, so he already saw it. He saw it.
Oh, Churn.
Yeah, Churn. He saw it already and posted and said it was one of the best Marvel movies he's seen. So I'm super excited. I'm going Friday night at like 5 o'clock.
Where I'm going to go. I'm not going to go to the draft house because the screen's small. I want to go to the biggest screen. Yeah. So I need to go to
the early people that have seen it are very high praise, and I expected nothing less. I mean, Marvel's on such autopilot at this point. A movie of this magnitude, they're not going to screw it up.
They know how to make the movies now.
Yeah, and there's a formula. If they don't veer from the formula just a little bit here and there to throw a curveball every once in a while, but if they stick to the formula, they're gonna, for the next decade, they're gonna be making top quality movies. It's on autopilot. But I'm excited. I can't wait. I almost wish I could go see it tomorrow night, but I want to wait because I got some friends coming into town. We're all going to see it together. So we're just going to watch the draft tomorrow night and then see the movie on Friday night. So, but looking forward to it. Super excited. Next week will be a fun show.
Your team sent a freaking bird to do the draft pick. Did you see
what?
That?
No, what?
The Bucks are going to send a freaking parrot for the 3rd pick.
Are you serious? Oh my god, I can't wait. That's awesome.
Training it?
No, that's awesome. I actually didn't see that. I haven't really been focusing on draft stuff because for like the last few months, I've been watching NFL Network with not a whole lot of real news, and I just kind of got tired of watching it. So I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna not watch anything. So when I get to draft day, I can actually have some excitement and surprise. So I haven't been watching anything. I've been following any of the NFL stuff really the last like maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh crap! So I just gave you an NFL draft spoiler. Damn.
No, that's so cool though. Still looking forward to seeing it though. That's kind of cool. That'll make some fun in the draft because the third round will be Friday night. I'm DVRing the draft so that after.
Where's Tampa on the draft line?
They're 7th overall.
Okay.
So they'll get 1 good pick, and then they have a 2nd and 3rd round pick. They have a couple 2nd round picks actually, so they've got quite a few picks, but only the 7th overall. So
is there anybody this year that's like awesome that everybody wants? I don't really follow it.
Yeah, the running back from Penn State, everyone's super high about. There's a defensive lineman that everyone's coveting too. I think he's expected to go top 5. The quarterbacks are going to skew the skill positions a little bit because there's so many teams in the top 10 that need a quarterback. So some really good position players are going to drop into like the low single digits or high single digits or low teens. So yeah, I'm actually excited. The Bucks are going to get a really solid pick because there's like 3 or 4 teams ahead of them that need a quarterback. So they're going to go quarterback, and we're going to get a good safety
Browns
here.
quarterback again, right?
Yeah. Well, Browns got 2 picks in like the top 5, so they're going to get a quarterback and probably the running back number 1 overall. But we're hoping to
go 2 quarterbacks.
Just to make sure.
100.
Yeah. No, they won't. They're going to get the running back
That's all
quarterback
they need.
combo.
It's just a quarterback. That's no, they're set.
But I'm excited for the Bucks because they should get a good defensive player in the number 7 pick, who would on a normal year probably be like a top 3 pick. But because of all the quarterback needs for the teams above them, they're going to get a really, really solid one with the 7 pick. Unless someone jumps ahead of them, they're going to get a really solid pick. So should be interesting.
I hadn't been paying any attention, and then I saw a headline that Dallas released Des Bryant.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of curious to see where he lands.
I guess it's just money.
It's money. It's.
Well, he's fallen off a lot too.
Oh,
he's fallen off a lot.
But with the new catch rules, he might be better.
Yeah, but
he always dives for shit and like fucking, like
it'll be interesting to see where he lands. I mean, they've got a few potential spots. He gets with the right team and a good quarterback, and he'll revitalize his career.
Here's the thing: Giants will probably take it.
He's already said he wants to play against the Cowboys twice this year.
Of course,
they did cut Brandon Marshall.
He's one of those guys. He's super emotional. Like he wants.
He wants to play against Dallas.
Yeah, he wants to beat Dallas to show what.
Well, so that means Washington, Philly, or the Giants.
There's no way Philly's going to sign him. They don't want to mess with him.
Philly's loaded enough, and they probably can't afford him.
They don't have any money left.
Yeah, I don't know about Washington though. I mean,
Washington. Well, Giants. When you get 2 great receivers on a team, then you can't double cover both of them.
But can they afford 2? Can they afford?
I have no idea. But if are they cutting Eli? I can't remember. If Eli got cut, right? No. He was. Oh, they didn't start him. That's what they did.
That was the coach thing, though. I think he'll be the starter for next year.
Yeah, just 1 game to screw with his streak.
It was all an ego thing. The guy just screwed with his consecutive game streak. That was the only reason for doing it.
Speaking of football, I got some awesome news for my wife that I'm going to be able to take my son to his first game in Denver this year. I am super stoked.
That's cool.
The 2 of us going to Denver and see a Broncos game.
Yeah, I bet that's why you're excited to go.
Yeah, that's why he's going to Denver.
Going with my son.
And
teaching him young.
Start him early.
Hey, leave him alone. He got glaucoma.
He's got the glaucoma. Oh my gosh. We're back, guys.
You guys are horrible.
It's Cheech.
Mm.
He knows. He logs in. He knows.
I played a new game this week that actually is a gamer game. I played what the hell was it? Mana Forge.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. What is it? Mana Forge from I don't know. It was on the board game reviewers thing, and I was one of the minds. Mine. Yeah, it was good. It's a really simple, like 6-page rule booklet, 60 to 90 minute. Roll dice, level up cards, and it's some interesting concepts. Nothing spectacular, but it was good.
Is that the Isaac Childress game?
Let me check. I don't look.
There are so many games that are just like that, though, where it's just like, yeah, I mean, this was a game.
So I've got all these thousands of games that probably have no reviews. If I just throw them out there to reviewers, will they take them? I mean, will they?
Oh, they'll take them and never review.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You can't get a review.
I'll review it one day. I work through piles. I'll eventually get there.
That's not the one.
Especially if they're family games, then I'll play them in the class.
Don't you already have a big enough pile to deal with right now?
Yeah, those are old as dirt. I mean, those get like no hits. Those get like 30 hits.
The drinking game equipment organizer on Kickstarter needs your help.
Drinking
Forge War is what I was thinking.
Yeah, this one's
Forge.
Yeah. What's the name of the company?
You can see how I could be confused.
Mystic Tiger Games. That man, who
Roar.
Like when you're deciding your game company, when we're like Mystic Tigers, that's what we're going for.
Mm.
All right, what is it? The drinking game organizer?
It's basically a rack to put beer pong cups in.
Nice.
They're at 0% funding.
Robinsburger is doing a beer pong game.
What?
Really? Are you
Yeah,
shit?
What?
I mean, it's not called beer pong, but it is beer pong.
What the
Yeah,
shit?
and it looks good.
Without
I've-
the drinking, obviously.
Yeah, no,
It's
there's not
like
drinking,
bouncing ping pong
but
ball
it's
into
bouncing ping pong balls in cups.
Nice.
Is
Yeah,
it like
they were
some
showing it at
strategy? I always
Cannes.
thought that like a somewhat strategy drinking game, like a beer pong game, would be amazing.
Mm.
Ravensburger, ping pong.
I mean, you could retheme it. Like if you made it a golf game where you're pretending the ping pong ball is a golf ball and you're trying to get it in a cup. I mean, I could see how you could turn a beer pong type game into something else to make it more family friendly or whatever, or more accessible. But it's just that's weird.
Let's see if I can find it for you.
I got all my money locked up in the Star-Crossed 2-player game of Forbidden Love game.
Oh, that's a weird thing, man.
What is?
The star-crossed
The 2-player game of Forbidden Love. It's 2-player Jenga.
it's 2-player Jenga with like role playing. Like
It's 457% funded on Kickstarter with 2 weeks left.
What? Why would anyone pay for that? You can just go buy an old copy of Twister and get drunk and play it naked, and it does the same thing.
$34,311.
Jesus, they want $60,000 for this cup holder? What the hell? All right, I'll bite. I'm in. $18, $3 shipping. They got one. They got one, Anthony. You did your job.
Here's what makes no sense about that.
Anthony gets a percentage of that. He's
No.
works for them.
Here's what makes no sense. It's a rack to hold the cups for beer pong, which are just red Solo cups you throw out after the game anyway.
Not everybody does. I hold on to mine. I am the target market for this. I legitimately look at that and I was like, yeah, I would use that.
Chad
There you
Roberts,
go.
do you know
It
the
now
name of
has
that game?
$21.
The beer pong game.
There's 60,000 they need.
So are we surprised that Hellboy board game did so well today?
No.
I am. Only because I just don't get Hellboy. I don't find it interesting, I guess.
Oh, I love Hellboy.
There is apparently a lot of people that do. I look at it and it just doesn't interest me at all. I didn't even look at the Kickstarter page, to be honest. I'm just not a fan of the source material.
the old Mike Mignola. I mean, I shouldn't say old because he still makes some, but the like, if you go back and watch like read the old Mike Mignola graphic novels, they are really, really good. He created a fantastic world with his graphic novels, and then it was one of those things where I think he got kind of tired of doing it. And but I mean, he did a really good job with it. Made a really, really cool setting, and I don't know. The movie was okay, but I mean, the movie was whatever it was, you know.
I really like Ron Perlman in that movie. I thought he was definitely.
Oh yeah, Ron Perlman was perfect for the role. No doubt on that one. But yeah, no, I didn't even know there was a Hellboy movie or board game. Was on Kickstarter or something.
Yeah, Mantic. 454% funded.
Well, how much money?
100,000 they were looking for.
Is it minis?
Well, it was 139. Yeah, yeah, of course it's minis. They wanted 139,820 dollars. So I guess 100,000 euros or whatever it is. And they have right now 636,301. 5,155 backers.
I don't know. I like the Hellboy world. I mean, I'm not gonna buy a freaking board game that I'll never play. But
minis, like, because Mantic is assemble minis, right?
Yes.
Like, I do not want to assemble minis.
Even not knowing that, yeah, I kind of already hit my Kickstarter allotment for a while. I gotta cool it because with Batman and Street Fighter and Dinosaur Island and Fireball Island, it's just I've spent way too much already.
Come on. What's $21 more for the hub? It's a drinking game equipment organizer. Come on.
I'm good.
$21 bucks.
No, I'm good.
yeah, I'm in a rare world that when Fireball Island reaches its last. I mean, I don't think I'll have any money out there anymore.
Yeah, I at May 6th, I'll have every Kickstarter paid for that I've signed up for that's left. I've got like 3 or 4 that are still sitting that are going to end in the first week of May. And then I am like literally deleting my Facebook or my link for Kickstarter off of my bookmarks and not looking at it for like 4 or 5 months. It's just, this was a very, very busy first quarter of the year for me in Kickstarter. And like I said, I spent almost as much. I spent almost as much all of last year as I did up January through April. So
we did a conversation today on the BGG show that will be coming out tomorrow, or Thursday. Oh, tomorrow's Thursday.
We must have not got our invite.
But like, you guys
it was lost in the mail.
But here's the question: do you think the big Kickstarters are hurting the independent publishers who are self-publishing the smaller
Absolutely.
games?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I can tell you for a fact, I know of at least 2 or 3 Kickstarters that were directly affected by big Kickstarters that were out there that they either folded or canceled early.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that came out of Cannes that got canceled, like the Matthew Dunson game and Imagine 8, or no, what is it called?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of small projects that didn't fund in this first quarter because of all the money that people were spending on these big ones. Yeah, easily. There was a few games I would have backed normally that I didn't back because I was like, wow, I spent $300 on Batman, I spent $280 on Street Fighter, and now I've got Fireball Island and Dinosaur Island that are about to close. It was like, no way, can't do it now.
Dinosaur Island closed over 2 million.
Yeah, I know. So look at those totals. Look at the total for Batman was what, like 4 point something million?
Yeah.
Then you got Dinosaur Island's another 2 million. You've got, what else is out there that's hanging that's going to be big? The Fireball Island, what's that at? Like 1.9 million? Almost 2. I mean, that's like $10 million right there and like 3 or 4 big Kickstarters. And that's not even including all the medium and small projects that are out there. They were doing a couple 100,000 each. I mean, Invader is almost at $2 million as well. We had Hate at the beginning of the year that did almost $2 million as well. I mean, there's like $12-14 million just in Kickstarter money
in like half
4 months. Yeah, in like 4 months. Yeah.
The other thing too, it's not just the fact that they're big Kickstarter. They're big Kickstarters for games that it's a lot to get in.
Yeah.
So you can choose to do an all-in Batman
for $325 or something like that.
Yeah. Or you can do 6 other Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Correct, but the kicker was that the Batman you'll never be able to get again because it's not the Batman Hate. There was like 4 or 5 of them that were Kickstarter exclusive. Street Fighter is same thing. So you are almost forced into the all in because if you don't do it and you really like the game, if you just bought the base one, you'll never be able to get the rest of it because unless you pay exorbitant amounts on eBay. So it's just worth getting it because then even if you get the game and don't like it because it was exclusive, you can make your money back on it.
Well, that's just it. Like I'm looking at my stupid Hate crowdfunder thing, and I gotta go in and I gotta decide what I want to do with it. And it's just like, well, I gotta get everything, right? I mean, I know I don't have to, but I mean,
but it's retail, it's exclusive, so that you won't be able to buy it later except on secondary market.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm just stuck there, and I'm gonna have to like purchase this crap. It's just I don't know. It's
I felt the same way with Batman. I would have loved to have waited until it came out on retail and played it and actually seen if I liked it because I know I like Batman, but it's a big miniatures game. And if the gameplay's not good, I would have still bought some of it to have the models to have on a shelf and stuff. But the same with Street Fighter, pre-painted models, nice. I've seen a few gameplay videos. It looks kind of simple, but because they're also linking it with Mortal Kombat and Capcom games and stuff, it could get really cool down the road. So I'm banking on it getting cool down the road versus maybe really falling in love with the actual game now. So, but because it's Kickstarter exclusive, if I don't get it now, and then the Mortal Kombat and the whatever other licenses they acquire, because they're trying to acquire a bunch of licenses to make this like a universal fighting game. If I don't get it now, I'll kick myself if the game really becomes something great later and I don't have all the stuff. And it sucks. It sucks.
Here's my favorite Kickstarter right now. Secret File, the solo investigation game.
Damn it, Anthony, you're making me spend more money.
Funded in 20 seconds.
What do you want, like $1?
$1.
Yeah, I knew it.
Here's the best thing. This is the game. Tell me what the game is when I explain it to you. A quick and stressful investigation game for 1 player. A shredded secret file, a password to find, 2 minutes to save the world. Simple rules. You launch a 2-minute timer. You open the box, quotation marks, Ziploc bag. You try to solve the puzzle and find the secret code. If you find the secret code before the end of the timer, you win.
Wow. So it's like a jigsaw puzzle.
It's an index card that was put through a paper shredder.
Shredder, and you have to put it back together.
You have to put it back together.
Oh, God.
This is
How much money have they raised?
He's at $486. This is the funny part. There's only 167 backers, and it's either cost you €1 or €2 to get, and that's it. There's no
an index card with a number written on it.
I don't know, but this makes me laugh. It makes me laugh that Kickstarter put this even through.
So this guy's going to go buy a box of index cards, a box of Ziploc bags, and a Sharpie, and he's going to make this game for like $15, and he made
his name is Mr. Print and Play. This is the 7th project he's created. I think this is the only one that actually has funded.
That's awesome. You know what? Kudos. If you can find something stupid that people will send you money for, go for it. It's going to cost them more money to ship the damn thing than it is to make it.
The funny thing is I saw it when it launched, and I said something about it on Twitter, and I thought it was funny. The whole thing. Like, are you kidding me? This thing? But the fact that he went back and put funded in 20 seconds on the thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like I said, it's stupid shit like that. That's what Kickstarter's there for, is for people to get their obscure, crazy ideas out there and people to buy in on it. I mean,
here, I thought it was there for Cool Bean or Not to pump out $1 million
direct
Kickstarter
campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? I mean, we're going back to that whole like, do you think like the other one, the little guy?
The deal, like,
what are they gonna do?
Who's not kickstarting now? Like, I have a feeling those companies are, gonna take a hit.
More and more are starting to. Like AEG never Kickstarted. They're starting to move on Kickstarter now. And Cryptozoic, a lot of companies that used to not do any, or you're starting to see certain projects hit now because it's just cost efficient, and that you can't pay for better free marketing. I mean, it's the marketing aspect of it. They may not need to print it, but you're getting all this marketing buzz and all this attention that you have to put minimal effort into. You put the Kickstarter page up and it does itself. Word of mouth and spreading of the link just goes like wildfire. It's crazy.
Oh, I should spread the word about the Bark side. You guys should.
By the way, the Secret File game is only a 48-hour campaign. There's only 14 hours left, so hurry.
I'll pass.
But go back to Bark side. There's a bunch of early birds left.
Bark side?
The Bark side. It's a trick-taking game.
I got to go to bed. It's midnight. Have fun, guys.
Bark side? I don't even know
the Bark side. BARK.
Oh, they actually sent me. They sent me this. Oh,
hey, Scott, if you'd like to partner with me and BGG, I'll take that Shark Mini for a lifetime contract. Just throwing that out there. So send me the contract. I'm in.
That might take you up by
that. All right, see you guys.
See you, man.
Later.
Bye.
They did not tell me that was a Kickstarter. They didn't even email me.
Yeah, it's not doing too good. It needs more. It needs a little love.
I read the rules and it looked like crap. So, well, I mean, I'm gonna give you an honest opinion. It looked like I read the rules and I was like, where the hell's the strategy in this? And I was like, why is it the dark side, but it's the Bark side if it doesn't have a Star Wars theme at all? Like, I don't know.
It's dogs.
I'll get that played tomorrow and get a video up.
Oh my god, you guys got to get the cat game. You've seen the cat game?
No.
It's a, I think it's a Target. Let me see if I can find a picture for you. It's so crazy fun.
Oh, I got a question for you, Lance. Generally, how do publishers, what is it, the speed dating thing? How do they do the thing where they meet with designers and look at games and decide if they're interested or not? How do you schedule?
Like if somebody wants to meet with us? Well, I mean, I'm not. I can play a game and I can say, hey, I think that's kind of cool. You should look at it, but I don't have any say. There's a submissions link on our website that doesn't have a link to it. Basically, like if somebody approaches us and says, "Hey, I have a cool game," we will send them kind of the secret link to our submission site. I think that when we had submissions like a link, an open link to it, we ran into a lot of problems of just getting lots of junk, being submitted. So now it's like we're kind of a little more picky and choosy. So like if somebody approaches us, we say, "Hey, here's the thing," Gen Con or conventions, obviously, this stuff just gets handed off. They're like, "Hey, check this stuff out," and then we take it and we decide whatever.
Okay, so it's not like uniform across companies that there's a...
No, they're all different. So you want to know how the speed dating thing that they run at Gen Con, they run other places? So basically those, you sign up for a slot, and you basically set up on a table, and then the publishers that want to come to it, basically they go from table to table. You got 5 minutes to explain your game, show them how it works, give them a sell sheet. 5 minutes, they go to the next table, look at the next game. So, I mean, the problem with that is you may be, spinning your wheels for half the publishers in the room who don't care at all for the game, the type of game you're doing at it. But
yeah, mine's a super hardcore adult party game, so I'd know who would not be interested pretty quickly. Okay. Yeah, I might have to look into that. Now, are most of these prototypes? Like, mine's actually a finished game. I've done 500. I did a 500 print run. Are these?
Oh, they're prototypes. All of them. They're looking to get someone to, to sign the game. So, so let's talk about the cat game. And then I have a question.
You already made it. You already made the game.
I made a game.
Oh, what do you need the roundtable for then?
Because we've sold out and we have like 100 people. Like we're like, yeah, do another Kickstarter, like on a waiting list. But just me and my buddy, we don't have the time with 4 kids between us to do another one. So we were going to sell it to see if we could just see if anybody was interested in redoing it. Because we put a lot of work into it, artwork wise. And what is this cat game?
This is the cat game. It comes with like 30 or 40 cat color forms, I guess, and then you can draw on it as well, and it is hilarious, as you can see from this picture.
Tell Rodney
it's Pictionary. It's Pictionary, basically, but the box has fur on it. Yeah,
but with cats.
Yeah, it has fur coming out of the box. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. And the cats are so cute. Look at those cats. They're all in different poses. You can make. Yeah, obviously this is golfing.
What is wrong with you?
But what? You don't think this is cool?
No, I do not think it's
cool.
Come on,
Lance. I think it looks like a fun game to play.
Looks fun, man. We're gonna play this all night at Gen Con.
Great.
Or you're talking about the help wanted game? That's the one you're trying to move?
The what?
Forrest, that help wanted game is the one you're trying to move?
Yeah.
All right.
I heard Anthony's looking for.
I thought the obvious choice would be to talk to what was it? Oh my god, Breaking Games. Yeah, Breaking Games about it because they've got that whole line.
They'll do anything.
Oh yeah, they need like 40 more games to put out this year.
Well, I really do think that if we got if we had a real company behind our game, I think it could be popular just because, it's the artwork, man. The artwork and the theme.
What kind of game is it?
It is an adult. It's Cards Against Humanity, but it's a storytelling game where instead of just laying down a card and saying, "Oh, I have this," you have cards in your hand and you weave together a short story. So it's kind of like a mixture of Cards Against Humanity it's more like Snake Oil. It's kind of like adult Snake Oil, but with 500 pieces of artwork of incredibly inappropriate cards.
Oh my god, I played the Deadpool.
Well, this world does need more Cards Against Humanity clones.
See, but it's not a clone. It's a storytelling game. It's a completely different thing. Cards Against Humanity is so freaking lazy. I used to love that game, but now that I'm here, it's like there's no artwork, there's no colors, there's no story. It's just, hey, I'm gonna lay down this titty card. It's gonna be funny. Hey, I'm gonna lay this card down. It's gonna be funny. It's such a lazy game.
Well, yeah. So on another Cards Against Humanity game, the Deadpool game is awesome. It's really fun. And it is a Cards Against Humanity, but it has fill in the blank. So you put out a cartoon of Deadpool, like a one picture of Deadpool doing something stupid, and then you have to give a card with a caption. And the captions are all fill in the blank. So it'll be like the good, the bad, the blank, right? And you fill in the blank. Or all the cards have those kind of like, movie quotes or like phrases or whatever.
Oh, so you actually play the cards? It's not like say anything where you write it down?
No, it's yeah, some of the cards have more freedom for expression, but most of them are just fill in the blank.
Yeah,
and it's pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is wet erase. It makes a mess.
I've been waiting for someone to do a game like that. I did a Kickstarter video for a game that was very similar to that.
It was extremely amusing, especially at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that game didn't fund, and I kept the game until I just thought I liked it because that is a really fun concept. So I imagine Deadpool works well with it.
Especially with all the wacky ass poses they have Deadpool in.
The wacky poses.
I'm nervous
the
about
disdain in your voice.
I'm super nervous about Deadpool too.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be great. When is that coming out?
I just have such I think Deadpool 2 was legitimately the best comedy of last year. Like, I have such high hopes for that movie. I feel like it would be let down.
Preview looked good.
It did. You guys
I
think,
ask you guys your opinion on something. First, I'm going to ask a question, then I ask your opinion.
Yeah.
All right. So, how often do you think that publishers who are making a game who want to use artist A have to go out then and find someone else because artist A is not available
these days?
Yeah,
all the time.
Okay. So you can't know all the artists that are out there, other than the obvious, the names of people who are prolific, doing it stuff all the time. But there are people who've done multiple games who people still don't know who they are by name.
Right.
So this was an idea where I was bouncing around, and again, obviously not for now, but at some point, if the publishing company takes off, and I have several projects, in the works, and I'm looking for artists. What do you think of the concept of having like on the website saying, this is the projects we're looking for artists for. This is the theme, this is this is that. And obviously the artist would have to register with it and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And basically say, if you're interested, please submit not a bid, but you know what I mean? Like a proposal.
Proof of concept or something.
Well, I don't even need that. I'm just saying, it's like I put it out there, and you said you have your portfolio, and I know the kind of work you do, and I know several people could do the same kind of art style I'm looking for. You're available. You have nothing going on. Now, obviously, I want to pay the artist, but like if I want like Beth Sobel to do it, and Beth isn't available for another 3 months because she's working on other stuff, she may come back in that scenario and go, "Oh, I could do it, but I can't start until this date." And then, it would be this much time. And, this is what we charge, blah, 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 blah. To have people bid on it and say, I can do, I'm available here. I can do this many pieces in this amount of time. And this is what my fee is. Not necessarily go and sit there and go, try to underbid someone, but sit there and go, and I can say, wait a minute, I can get artist A right now, or I can wait a month and get, Quan Chai to do my art, and it doesn't cost me that much more. I'm going to wait the month for Quan Chai, rather than having to go around. Okay, here's my wish list. Beth, are you available? No. Okay. Quan Chai, you available? No. Yeah. Ian, you available? No. Go down the list like that.
Right.
Like, is that something that I know it's not a norm. It doesn't happen. But I don't know if it's something, and again, presented in the fact that it's not about undercutting yourself or undercutting somebody else. It's about saying, this is what I can do in this amount of time, and this is what it costs.
Right. So when I first did redesign the BGG logo, I did it on one of those like logoworks.com or whatever, where you describe a logo and you get like 5 people doing ideas for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you pick one and you pay the money and they flush it out. So it's sort of the same.
Yeah, but it's because I don't want it to be like an audition thing.
Yeah, it's more of an audition.
Because it's going to be one of those things where like everybody who has access to this bidding thing, I don't know what you'd even call it. This place where, okay, this is what we have in the works. You know, who's available, who's got time, when do you have time, blah blah blah. To have it out, so all those people I would have seen their digital portfolios already.
Right.
It's not like Joe Schmo comes off the street and goes, "Oh, I can do it for $5 a picture," because I don't know who Joe Schmo is. I've never seen his work.
I think truckers do something like that.
Yeah, because that's Shipping Wars show.
Yeah, Shipping Wars. And I remember I watched that one episode of it with Zev's car.
And they kind of sit there. I saw the one with Zev.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
they bought that T-Bird.
Right, they bid and they go down. And they're like, okay, well, they're offering $2,000. They're like, well, I'll do it for $1,900. I'll do it for $1,800.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be like that. But I want it to be like, obviously, if you are a full-time artist, if there's a time when you're ultra busy, obviously you're ultra busy. But also, if there's a time where you have nothing going on, and there's no proposals coming in, maybe you say, hey, you know what? I can do it for $75 an illustration instead of that you normally charge $100 because it's work that's there.
Seems like it would work. I mean, you'd have to ask actual artists.
I am going to ask actual artists, but I just want to see that sounds like something that would be like,
yeah, it's like
it's kind of like weird
proposal system, right?
Yeah, it's like, this is what I have. Instead of me bothering you,
yeah, calling for a whole bunch of no's.
Because the other thing too is you sit there and you go, all right, well, I got this artist, this concept, this thing, and I know that that's Miko. It's who Miko's art would be great with this game. And I contact Miko and I say, we have to work around this project. We'll be ready for art in 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And he's, okay, great, I have time. And then 3 months come and something happens with development and I'm not ready for him. So now he's got on his calendar that he's going to start doing art for this thing in 3 months. I'd rather go, okay, this is what we got. This is when we need stuff by. What can you do? Kind of thing. And it may be someone who we didn't even think of.
Oh, I guarantee you would probably get people who you never thought of
for the thing. And again, it would all be, hey, people come in. And like a lot of the stuff we're trying to do, and again, it's not to get the Beths and those people in the Quanchais for things. I'd like to help people who are good artists who don't know how to get into who can't just break in,
right?
At this point, and if they have the ability to do it, I'd like to hire them, and get their foot in the door. And then I know at some point, if they're that good, everyone's gonna be knocking on their door. They're not gonna be available for me later on.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm really surprised there already isn't something like that. But
and there might be people using things like
that. It's called DeviantArt.
Yeah, but that I don't know.
No, but DeviantArt is I saw your art.
You could find people, but are they gonna be hireable? And can you figure it? Speaking the board game language is different than just
right. That's right. I'd rather put the call out to people on Board Game Geek or on the board game groups on Facebook and say, hey, are you an artist? Have you ever wanted to work?
So here's some challenge. Yeah. The only issue is you'll have probably like 15 to 20 people go for it. And of course you only really need one. Right. So you're going to instead of them rejecting you, you're rejecting them. I don't know what that effect has on the psyche of an artist.
Right. And that's the whole thing too. That's the other flip side of it. Like, okay, and then it becomes all right, well, we gave Forrest the money last month. We really can't go back to Forrest this month, even if it was available. We have to go to, you kind of have to feel like you have to give everyone a project at some point. But you can't. I mean, it's like, it's the same thing as I got like, since we started taking in submissions, I've probably gotten like 30. And already turned 20 of them away.
Games.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's hard. And I sit here and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta tell this person I don't want this game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you would just get used to that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna do it. And the other thing is too is, we're doing this in our spare time right now. So I can't take on, even if I wanted to do 30 games, I can't tell people.
Yeah, do one and see how much work that is, and then you can figure out.
There's a couple of the 10 that are left. There's probably gonna be like 5 or 6 of them I'm gonna send back and say, hey, I'm giving this back to you. Go shop it around or whatever. But if you haven't sold it by a certain time, I'm gonna come back and say, hey, do you still have that game? Because I don't want to sit there and hold the rights to a game for.
Oh yeah, and no designer should give you the rights to a game for that long.
So
to sit on it.
Yeah, I don't want no bad blood.
Just like Taylor Swift.
What?
Yeah, I didn't. What? I didn't get
Doesn't she have like a bad blood song?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it is. I
don't know
just
either.
The video. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't know if it, obviously you have to do.
I'm gonna run it by artists and stuff, but I just want to put it out there and say, hey,
yeah, I mean it's more like a Hitman bulletin board, right?
But it's also kind of like
what project is available to me right now.
Well, it's also kind of hey, I just realized I have nothing going on. Let me go check in and see if they have any work.
Yeah, and I don't know if you'll ever get anybody you'll want with this situation. I mean, you'll get something good, I'm sure, because you get to pick, right? But if you really want the Quanchais or the Best Sobols or all the names, then you really have to book them.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, and that's the thing. Leave it out there. So 'cause I'm sure. Here's the thing with. I'm guessing it happens. I'm not sure it happens, but I'm guessing that when people become, excuse me, so popular,
yeah,
that people sit there and go, "Oh, there's no way they're available." And there are times when they have nothing going on.
Yeah,
because either they got everything done early, or projects they were signed up for already got delayed. And again, I don't know how the time period it takes people to do stuff. I know people who are artists who literally can
really fast.
Yeah, really fast.
Some are really slow.
Yeah, and someone can go, hey, you know what? My project got delayed for 2 months while they're working on something. They're retheming it. Now they're going to do something else, and I got time, but I didn't take any other work for this time now because and they can just look on. Hey, you guys need anything? And I don't know. Maybe they're doing stuff like that now. Like they're calling people. Quanchai's getting on the phone and saying, "Hey, I got some free. I have no work for the next month."
When we got Rob Beaumart's, we were thinking he was not available for I Hate Zombies because he was tied up with he was working full time with Cryptozoic. So it was like, well, let's just write to him and see. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, I mean, I didn't need to ask permission, but he did it. He just
I have no work. I need work.
Well, but that's the whole thing when you work for yourself like that and that kind of thing. It's not like you get paid when you work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, you know what? I'm doing all this work for you. Pay me weekly so I can get a check every week.
Seems like I think it would work.
All right.
I know how it goes.
So tell us about your games that you think are possible for your little.
I'm not announcing anything until it's ready.
What's the name of your company?
Tell us about your little games for your little.
I'm not being condescending. I want to know what types of games he's looking at. I'm not asking for names.
We're right now concentrating on medium to heavyweight Euro games.
Oh yeah, you should check out my party game. It's definitely got some medium to heavy Euro weight.
It's the company's called the Hexagram 63 Game Studio.
Any reasoning behind the name? Well, yeah. What's the reason behind the name? I guess.
Oh,
One ounce short.
turn in your nerd cred.
You don't know what hexagram 63 is? So hexagram 63 is the 63rd hexagram in the chi, and it stands for after completion. So if you've ever seen GI Joe, Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes' tattoos.
Just before my time.
That's the 60 hexagram 63.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So turn in your nerd card.
So the funny thing was, someone's like, "Oh, you're gonna get sued for it." I'm like, "Bring it on."
By who?
Well, what you call it?
G.I. Joe.
Yeah. By Hasbro or Mattel or whoever it is that owns the
That'd be
rights.
great. They come into.
Here's the funny thing. So, when I was going through names and stuff, I was doing a lot of checking on copyrights.
G.I. Joe.
And there is no copyright for
G.I. Joe.
because it doesn't belong to them. And their version of the hexagram 63, if you read any of the newer or seen any of the newer G.I. Joe comics series, the Snake Eyes series and the Storm Shadow series, it's a very stylized version of the hexagram now. Because they know they can't copyright it. It can't be copyrighted.
American hero. It was a great cartoon.
How old is the I Ching? Ancient, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they stole it.
And next year, it goes into public domain.
Yeah. Next year.
No,
Or are you going to use the little wavy things? The little. I'm looking at a picture.
No, it's straight block.
I guess some people have done like stylized versions of it.
Yeah, like the hand drawn thing that looks like curved lines. Yeah,
that's cool. Oh, neat.
It is neat.
Now here's a question for you guys. What do you think of all of these companies that have all of these images now? The imprints, excuse me.
Oh, imprints. Yeah. I think it's smart.
So, like the way Greater Than Games has Greater Than Games, Dice Hate Me Games, and Nexus.
Yeah.
And how Game Salute is now 3 different imprints, and how even Gray Fox now has another imprint.
I think it's a good idea, just because it really helps you focus on your brand, and you can spread out your brand too. Like I know North Star Games just did it with their Funky Chicken and their Happy Salmon and the Monster game. Those are really just focused more at like children's games and that sort of stuff. So I think it's a good idea because it just, I think it's a good idea because it's kind of like what TMG does now. They focus on a very specific type of game, and if they want to start releasing party games, you probably want to put it under a different name.
Yeah, I think that
we'll call it Forced Choice.
Worst choice.
No, it's just an example. If you wanted to start releasing war games or something, you probably wouldn't want to put them under the TMG line.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I think there was some criticism that I read about recently with something. I'm trying to remember what it was. A new imprint from some company, and I can't remember.
Well, Great Fox has the new one that's Party Sloth or something like that.
Party Sloth? Party Sloth.
It's something sloth.
I'm intrigued.
You sure the backlash shouldn't hear was the fact that Game Salute took their company and made it 3 imprints and none of them are called Game Salute?
That's because they want to get away from all that damn bad rep.
It's like Myriad Games. I can't remember the other ones now. Well, did you see like the whole thing about like he he lost the lawsuit, but they awarded $0 and found him not guilty of fraud. I mean, I don't know if you guys are up like the lawsuit that Zev had against Dan Yarrington. Like that was the outcome.
Yeah.
They found that he did a breach of contract, but
they found for the defendant, or they found for the plaintiff, but it awarded $0. Yeah.
And found him not guilty of fraud.
It's well, it's not guilty. It's not criminal. It's
they said there was no.
You find for the plaintiff or you find for the defendant. Yeah, it's not guilty.
So it's social sloth games.
Social sloth.
That's
so
great.
Basically,
social
my take of that case was that he basically, you are a really horrible businessman, and so it was just kind of like, yeah, you don't, I don't know, I don't even know how that works, as far as, yeah, you broke your contract, but you don't owe him any money. I don't know how that happens.
Did he have to pay the court fees at least?
I don't know, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I mean, I'm gonna guess that they couldn't prove what their actual losses were, which is why nothing was awarded to them. But they probably did make him pay the court fees because they wouldn't have had to go to court if that hadn't transpired in the first place.
I can see that. So a long time ago, my daughter and I did a video where we pretended to destroy the Nothing Personal box. Like we threw it off of my roof and pretended to smash it with a hammer and threw it in the garbage, but the box just wouldn't be destroyed. This video I did a while ago. We had fun with it. That was after the whole Tom Vassell thing.
Vasco da Gama.
Yeah, well, he did that. Was it Vasco da Gama? And then it was to the game called Hawaii.
Yeah, he threw Hawaii in the garbage. Yeah,
threw Hawaii in the garbage. So we kind of just made fun of that, and then just had some fun with it. Then I did a review of Nothing Personal. So the second edition. This is weird. So second edition Nothing Personal is coming out, and the box, it doesn't have Tom's name on it at all. It just says a game by Steve Avery. That's if you go on BGG. If I think
know the story.
Well, okay, just so anyway, but regardless, I asked them if they had they said, hey, would you take a look at the new one and do a review? I said that would be amazing, because now my daughter is older, so it's kind of the passage of time type of thing. And I said, do you have a spare box that you can send me? And they were like, yeah, we can send you a spare box. Why? And I was just like, I don't know. My daughter and I are gonna have some ideas. So we've been coming up with what we could do and actually do it to the box, and then of course we would think that we're done with it, and then think that haha, and then we destroyed it, but of course it would be destroyed. So we were we got so anyway, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fun. With yakety sax playing in the background. Did you ever see that video, Aldi?
Which one? Yakety sax?
My Nothing Personal yakety sax?
No, I don't think I have, actually. I need to watch that.
If you it's Nothing Personal Part 1. Did
you guys not like the game? Everybody loves that game.
No. But it was.
Oh, you were just making fun of
it. I was just having fun with Tom, because he sent me the only copy of the game in existence so I could do a review for the Kickstarter, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. And and so, but he's
the video starts with Lance going on the phone. Yes, Tom, I got it. It's right here. Yes, I know it's your only copy. I will take very good care of it.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to happen to it.
Yeah.
Yes, I swear to you.
I don't think I saw that video.
Then he hangs up the phone, and then he looks at the camera and gets this evil grin. And then mayhem ensues.
Yes. And my like 4-year-old daughter was in on it with me. So So what you know the story? What's the story?
Yeah, Tom talked about it. Tom actually sold his rights to it.
Really?
Yep.
You figured they'd want to put his name on it. Like that's a selling point for a lot
Tom
of
didn't
people.
want his name on the box anymore. He
Wow.
sold his rights to the game, and then Steve made some changes to the new version.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom talked about it on either one of his Q&As or Board Game Breakfast or something. He didn't get into much detail, but yeah.
I think most people would say he just wanted to like break free of have no ties to Dan. That would be my guess. Yeah, I'm sure. And also, I mean, I don't know. Nah, you know what? I don't want to talk. I don't want to tell tales out of school, so I won't say anything like that. So
Lame.
Yeah. So there. I'll just say that, and I'll leave it at that. And there you go.
It's weird. Your camera's so clear that I could almost read those IMs that you have on your phone.
I was going to say, stop pointing.
You better keep it out of frame.
Your phone at the camera.
I mean, not that. I'm sure it's all just like
It's asking me if I wanna. It's asking me if I wanna like resume. I was seeing a video on a painting technique, and it's asking me if I want to cast it to my TV. You know, one of those dumb things. Yeah. So.
Hey, question, Oldie. Any idea when the Origins list is going to start going up?
Yes.
May.
It is going to be
5th.
the day after BGG-Con.
The day after BGG-Con?
Yeah.
When's BGG-Con?
End of May.
End of May? Okay.
Oh, wait, no. It'll be out before that. When is it going to be? April, May, June. I think it's going to be after Eric gets back from Tokyo. So, like another week or so.
All right. Good to know.
Should be soon. Are events on sale yet for Gen Con? Because we have all our hot games room stuff.
For Gen Con?
Yeah.
No, the list is out.
The list is out, but no one can buy anything yet.
Right.
Because I kept exporting the list, and it's like nothing sold.
First,
like,
the first Saturday in May, I think.
Oh, okay. So
I think the first or second Saturday in May is when tickets actually go.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they weren't on sale.
They put the list out ahead of time so you can do your wish list.
So you do. Oh, so you could add.
So you can actually put them in your cart. This way,
it would be nice to know how many people put stuff in their cart. For
when
me,
it goes live, you just click the button.
Really matter.
I've never signed up for any events at Gen Con.
Really? Ever?
Never.
He just crashes and they let him in.
I have nothing to do at Gen Con this year. It's gonna be so weird.
You guys are coming to the hot games room, right?
Well, yeah, and I'm not working a booth, and I'm not running any events, so I'm not working.
Okay.
For anyone but myself.
Hot games room is the only place to bother going, honestly.
Cool.
Other than some places to get some food.
Food and beverage.
I don't know, man. I just
last year I did food trucks every day. It saves a lot of time.
Yeah, remember? I'm sure you heard the story, but remember I went to that food truck and then while I was eating their food, the health inspector
shut them down.
Yeah,
like spit it out.
That was great.
Which one was it? Do you remember?
It was you know, and the thing is that a lot of them had like really nice like, you know, like they took the time to like decorate their truck and paint the sides and things like that, and this one hadn't. But it was like pulled pork sandwiches, and I saw people having them, and they looked good. And my wife and I liked those, and we're like, yeah, sure. And they had a line of people. It wasn't like it was like they were begging people to buy their stuff. But yeah, I was about 2/3 of the way done with my pulled pork sandwich, and I was like, what's going on there? They put up this little sign, and it was just like, closed for like hell.
It was probably something wasn't refrigerated properly. That's probably.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I threw the last third of my sandwich away, and I just hope for the best.
Wait,
You know.
so
Well,
is
you're
it
still alive, so good.
was this the
Yeah.
truck that was on the main street or on that little alley street?
They're on the main street.
They were on the main street.
Yeah,
These are the truck that only sells pulled pork and brisket sandwiches.
they had nachos and other things.
Okay, so that's not the. Okay, I ate at the other one. So this is the thing that's the food trucks need to do at Gen Con, is they need to cut their menu down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that truck sells different stuff normally, but for Gen Con they have two things on the menu: pulled pork sandwich, brisket sandwich, and they have the cooler with soda. And literally, it takes 5 minutes to get food from that place.
Like how crowded does it too. I mean, the noodle place says the
The noodle place is super fast.
Nothing new, just damn noodles. Get the hell
What
out
is
of
it? What is it like the there's that one that's like the wok or whatever, like the Chinese food. That's pretty good stuff. That's not
See,
bad.
now I get your code to log in on your phone.
What's my code?
I mean, I saw the pattern.
Up, right, down,
Down,
left.
right.
That's
Yeah.
the code for Contra.
It looked like an R.
It did
Kind of
look
looked like an R. Curse your good bandwidth and good camera.
Oh, that's fine. Come and steal my phone.
Try and take it away from me.
Gonna steal your camera.
It's only like it's a
Konami
Logitech.
code.
It's a Logitech.
Yeah, it's an
920.
HD. It's an HD.
Yeah, it's they're $50. They're not.
When you turn the lights on, you can actually see stuff in that room.
How's my camera quality? Just out of curiosity.
Kind of crappy.
pretty shitty.
Yeah, you're definitely low res.
That's about par for the course.
Yeah. Are you on Wi-Fi down in the basement?
Me Wi-Fi?
No. Forest.
No, I'm hard jacked in.
Really? What's your
Yeah.
speed? What's your upload?
I don't know. I don't know.
Upload?
Checking out
You
stuff.
got like hamster wheels. Speed.
Computers scare me. There's a bike I can make it. If I pedal the bike, it goes a little bit faster.
Yeah. Believe me, I
Oh
wish
my
I could
God.
get faster.
Jim, just log into the Boom already.
Is Tasty Mental we're making you work tonight? Hey, Homesteaders, right?
Yeah, we'll fund tomorrow probably.
Yeah, I talked about it on the show.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Thanks a
you'll see it
lot.
tomorrow.
Thanks for inviting me. I could have been on talking about
It's not an invitational show. It's me and
Really?
Lincoln and Eric. Yes.
What'd you guys say?
I said everything. It's from the Everything Old is New Again department. Homesteaders 10th anniversary edition. With an expansion. What? Free advertising, man. You don't have to pay for that. Gave you that one for free.
All right, guys. I gotta get off for the night. I gotta get about like
Cool,
6.
man.
Take it easy.
6 a.m. Jeez, that's like me. Jury duty day.
Yeah.
Is that
Hey,
like
how'd
you every day?
how'd you get out of jury duty, by the way?
I didn't. Well, nothing. I just didn't get selected. I didn't do anything. I just told the truth when I was asked questions.
Well, what questions did you get asked?
Have you ever used a chiropractor? Have you ever been in a car accident?
Have you ever used a chiropractor?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, got in a car accident. My stepfather sent me to a chiropractor for like a year.
They're like drug dealers.
Yeah,
kinda weird, 'cause, like,
I think they're quacks. I honestly do.
well, I'm guessing that's what the deal was with the plaintiff was a chiropractor. I don't know if I want to go back into it, but basically it was a lawsuit for a car accident.
Well,
And
here's
he's
the
asking
deal.
if anybody had gone to a chiropractor.
And I'll say, I mean, obviously things have changed, but go and research the beginnings of chiropractic medicine, and research like the nutball that basically started up the idea, like and it the idea was based on total quackery. Now, I'll be completely honest. I'm sure there is. I mean, it's like a massage, right? I mean, it's something where.
Yeah, you get a massage, you get your spine adjusted. They like crack your back.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but here's my deal. It's like now, could that possibly help somebody, I'm sure it could. Is there a lot of
The
people
guy
that
next to me
just
had been going for 30 years. He said, "Someday I hope it works."
what?
The guy next to me was like, "I've been going to a chiropractor for 30 years. Someday I hope it works."
It
That
doesn't.
was his quote
It makes you feel better
for temporarily. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you went and got a massage every like 2-3 days, you would feel good, and you get kind of addicted to that feeling. And I honestly do believe there are people that have had like close to miraculous life-changing situations uh because of chiropractic. But I think the vast majority of the people that go to a chiropractic medicine, they're getting used. I mean, they're so happy to hand the money over though.
Yes,
You know,
and if you know a chiropractor, they will tell you they are drug dealers. They don't administer any drugs, but you need to fix because your back is hurting you. They will make it feel better, and you'll leave. And 2 days later, when your back hurts again, you'll go right back again. And they can adjust you in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, $75.
Well, that was the story. Plus, they asked if my wife was an attorney. They knew my wife was an attorney because I had filled out the questionnaire, and then I said yes. They said, "Oh, what kind?" I said, "Well, she works at volunteer program, Dallas Volunteer Attorney Program." "Oh, is she general counsel?" I said, "No, she's a director." Then they go, "Oh, did she ever perform litigation?" And I said, and I had almost forgotten that she did, and I said yes. And they're like, "Oh, plaintiff or defense?" And I said plaintiff, and that was it. I was invisible after that, so that was likely the question that did it. They didn't ask me another question. I was number 3 in line. So the way my experience is they will ask the first 5 or 6 people lots of questions, and then everybody else is just kind of whatever, general, raise your hand type questions.
see, I've always like every single time I've gotten called, I've gotten picked.
Yeah.
And I've gotten called 3 times, and each time I went in and I tried to look like the most ridiculous person you wouldn't want to have on a jury. I'd show up wearing I'd have like baggy cargo shorts on, a t-shirt, and like a backwards hat, and I basically I was just like want to make it like I was completely understood being there. Yeah. And
so like you dress every day.
Yeah, basically
like my normal attire.
so the second time I went in, the judge actually told me, he's like, if you show up wearing that tomorrow, Mr. Meister, I'm going to hold you in contempt. I was just
Did you say your name correctly?
No, if I remember correctly.
I was like wondering, like, there's a good chance.
And I was just kind of like, and I was just
go
like,
to jail.
And of course, I was like, I think that was the second time I was like, what, 26? I was still kind of a smart ass. And I said,
oh, you must look really bad then.
And I said, last time I checked, I didn't see my letter had a dress code. And he said, and then the judge said, and he smiled and he said, I set the dress code in these chambers, but you can feel free to try me tomorrow. And I was just like, and I showed up wearing my one pair of dress pants and a nice button-up shirt the next day
with a skinny tie.
Yeah, I didn't have a tie.
It was probably the 80s, right? Or the 90s.
Bola. He had a bola tie.
I just I just had my hair pulled back in a ponytail, and
skinny tie with the piano keys on it.
And then I just he didn't say anything directly, but he's like, he just said something along the lines of, I'd like to thank everyone for being here and being properly attired.
God. These guys could be wearing like t-shirt and shorts under their robe, like you would never know.
Yeah. But yeah, that was but every single time. And like one time I got asked 2 questions. The last time they said the first question was, they're like they asked me if I've ever been in a car accident because it was a civil.
Same question. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, have you ever been in a car accident? I said yes. And they said, do you have a personalized license plate? And if you do, what is it?
What?
Yeah.
Who says that? Who asked
That
that?
was the
Was it Undead Viking time?
no, it was when my license plate was I hate you all. And I said, yes, I do. And my license plate says I hate you all. And that everybody in the courtroom kind of laughed, and I was like,
how did they know that?
I don't know, but that was what my license plate said back
They
then.
must have looked you up or something.
And then he asked the same question of other people too, and they were like, no, I don't have one. So, but that was the plaintiff litigator or whatever. And then like I was like, I am out of here. I was like, there's no way I'm getting. And then like, and I was like number I was like number 16, and I remember they were like, if we call your number, you are free to leave. And I was like, let's do this. And they're like, 3, 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 18. I was like, what?
Oh, they called people to leave, not to stay.
Yeah, to leave. You can leave. And I was just like, seriously, like I was just waiting, and then they went from like, and my number was 16. I remember they were at 14, and it was like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and I was 18, and I was like 19. 14, and then they went to 18. And I was like, what?
Guess you were staying.
Mm-hmm. But that was
they wanted people with personalized license plates.
Maybe, I don't know. But that was when I that was the same one where the defense attorney's legal aid was this cute little number, and she had her name was Stephanie. Her name was Stephanie, and she had like I could see she had a tattoo on her leg. You could kind of see it through like she would wear like a I don't know slacks or something, but you could see the little bit of it. And like that was back when I have a lot of tattoos. That was back when I was in the tattoo culture, and so I was always trying to see what it was. And then she called me because I ended up being the foreman of the jury at that time, and she called me and asked me for like. Hey, what this, that, and the other thing, because their law firm was in Grand Forks, North Dakota, which was like an hour away from us. And then she asked why I was always checking her out, and I was just like, oh, because I just, I wanted to see what the tattoo was.
Why you were checking her?
Yeah, she's like, why were you always looking at me?
Like live on the court?
No. This is like she called me after the thing to like find out, just basically like the lawyer wanted to know. Like why we decided what we did, what was said, that kind of thing. And I answered the questions, and then she I ended up going on a couple dates with her actually.
So she called you for a date, basically.
Maybe who knows?
I mean, like, why were you checking me out, Lance? Come on.
No, she didn't ask. She just asked why I was always staring at her. I was like, well, you had a tattoo in your leg, and she's like, well, I'm gonna be in town. I'm gonna be down in Fargo, like next week. You want to go out for a drink, and I'll show you the tattoo. And I was like, yeah, sure. So,
aren't you glad you wore those dress pants that day?
Yeah.
Made a good impression of her.
So yeah, that trial was super weird too because we I think I told the story before, but we had like 3 days of the trial, and then the Fargo flood, like this Fargo flood happened, and like literally the area where I lived, like I lived in the basement of a guy's house, and it was super cool because this guy was super awesome. But what happened was that he like we were up, and like he had water coming in, he was backing up, through his sump, and so we had his shop vac, and we were just basically vacuuming up all the water, and I was running outside and dumping it. And we kept doing that, and it was gonna be fine. We were just like, we just got to keep doing this all night long, and we'll be fine. But then the power went out, and then so it was screwed. So then we started hauling all of my stuff out of the basement, and getting it, upstairs. And then I ended up having to move out because his basement ended up having like 3 feet of water. It was, and everybody in that neighborhood. And so basically they put the trial on hold, and then the flood got so bad that like basically we didn't come back to the trial for like 4 months. And then we came back, and then like one of the first things they asked was, "Do you guys remember anything that we said?" And we were like, "No." And so they had to start the whole process over again. And so I ended up being, for the civil trial, I ended up being a juror for like almost like 18 days. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
But yeah, at $10 a day or whatever I got, that was big
You
money.
made out. It's $40 a day here in Dallas.
Oh, big time.
Big money. Big money.
No,
I would have done my duty had I gotten chosen. I'm not a
You said duty.
well,
I
you
do
know
not-
what the thing is?
I'm not a Homer Simpson where he says, "Well, Bart, everyone knows how to get out of jury duty, right? You just have to say I'm racist against every race or prejudiced against every race or something like that."
My father-in-law, the 2 times he's been called for jury duty, he got out of it because one of the things, he makes it a point to somehow work into one of his answers. He has to give one, and he said it both times. He goes, "Well, if I figure if you've been arrested, you're guilty."
So it was weird. Like that is a typical question I hear too. I heard that in the criminal trials I've been in. But I remember the first question was like, how many of you people thought, what did this guy do when he came in here? And I raised my hand and I'm like, what did he do? And no one else raised their hand. I'm like, you guys, there's no way in the world that's not going through your mind at that moment when you go into a criminal trial.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
I was pretty honest with it. I mean, 100% honest with all of my answers.
I was just like, why did you pick a guy that had "I hate you all" as their license plate?
I hate you all.
Well, because it was an IH, the number 8, and then UALL.
That was your license plate?
I still have it.
What
I
year?
hate you all.
Why do you hate you all? Why?
Because I was an angry.
Why were you such an angry young man back then?
I don't know. I was angry.
You probably lived such a privileged life.
I probably did.
That's because he was in Fargo still. He hadn't become Minnesota nice yet.
No, I mean, I don't know. I was dating a girl that was driving me crazy at the time. I don't know. I listened to a lot of really angry heavy metal back then. I mean, just
it was your image.
Like, well, I still like that stuff. I mean, just listening to a lot of really super heavy, crunchy metal with like violent and aggressive lyrics, and that was just what I did.
Do you like the Cookie Monster voice? Do you like that?
It depends. There's some bands that it works for, and there's some that's dumb. I mean, like you can. I was more just into like the guitars and like if the there's like sludge metal is a thing. Like I'm really like into like that like really deep, crunchy, guitars that are kind of syncopathic with each other, and just like that kind of drives the song. I don't really care about the guy screaming at that point. It's just like there's like Viking metal is kind of the same way. It's good stuff. But that was who I was back then. I worked.
Now it's just Barry Manilow 24/7.
No, I mean, see, that's the weird thing about music, right? The weird thing about music is that the stuff that you kind of latched onto in like the moment you start listening to
formative years, yes.
Well, no, I mean, like if you don't ever really listen to music until like your mid-20s, and that's when you start listening to music. I started listening to music like in like junior high was when I really started listening to music. Like I got a hold of my dad's Pink Floyd records and really started listening to those all the time, stuff like that. And so like, but it's that stuff that you listen to, I'm going to say like from that moment, like when I was like 13 until you're like you know, somewhere in your 20s, like you kind of stop like listening to other stuff, right? You know, you can hear a song on the radio and say, okay, I can recognize why this song is good, but I don't listen to it and say, oh, I need to go get this album. I mean, it's just like that just doesn't happen for me. You know, I mean, you know, it's just like that's all well and good. I'm just gonna go and put Master of Puppets on and I'll listen to that, you know, and I'll be more than happy. I don't need new music at this point. I mean, you know, and the thing is that I can almost listen to anything. I can't listen to pop. I can't listen to country.
Almost anything. I've just taken out two major genres.
Well, I mean,
yeah. No, I understand what you're saying.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, and I can understand where, like, and there's some country I can listen to. You know, like somebody will play a country song. I was like, okay, this is, but you know, I just there's something about just also the themes of the music that really bug me. You know, I guess I don't know.
You're not Kanye West fan.
No,
did you see all that bullshit Kanye West put out today? Oh my god.
No, I don't.
Why is that guy?
Why would I? Why on earth would I know anything?
Because everyone lost their freaking mind.
Everybody lost their shit over it.
He loves Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's like Donald Trump's best buddy.
What did
I
he
hear
say?
what you're saying. I actually have tickets to Smashing Pumpkins next week.
See, that was
next
a really
week or week or next, and that was like super important to me in the '90s. So I'm curious how the concert will be. Like, this is an actual real Smashing Pumpkins reunion, not a bullshit. We're not gonna ever play any of our old stuff anymore. We're Smashing Pumpkins, so I'm kind of excited.
I saw them at Lollapalooza. God, what year was that? It was the year that Nirvana was supposed to headline, but Cobain killed himself, and so.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Like 94, maybe. I don't know.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, so then I saw
he killed himself earlier than that, didn't he?
They were the headliner that year instead of Nirvana for Lollapalooza. They put on a good show.
94.
The world is a vampire.
Oh my god, you're killing me! I'm so excited. 1994. Yep, he died in 1994. I'm hoping it's as good as I remember back in the day, because I went to their last concert in Dallas here, and it was so great.
How good was that double album, Melancholy
oh my god,
and Sadness?
So good.
That was such a good album.
Such a good album. Man, I even got all the B tracks, in the little lunchbox.
Oh yeah, I got those
there
too.
There were so many songs on that album.
And it was
everything after that I liked a lot, but then they broke up, and then they got back together recently.
Well, the one guy die, or he was there when somebody else OD'd or something like that, and they threw him out of the band? The keyboardist died?
Yeah, I think he OD'd. And then
the bassist or something, they threw him out of the band or the drummer, they threw him out of the band because he was there when the doing the drugs with them.
Yeah,
and
I
they
think
threw
he
him
was
out. And then that's when just James Eha.
Yep.
And who's his face? Can't even think of I can remember James Eha's name, but I can't remember the lead singer.
Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Who is? Here's something.
I'm excited. Like, I wish I had my Zero shirt.
You know what's strange about Billy Corgan? You know what Billy Corgan is?
What
it's something that I respect him for. I'll give Anthony a shot at picking this out of the ether.
Why you respect Billy Corgan?
Well, no. It's something that's really cool about him, and you know me, why I would think that's really cool about Billy Corgan.
He shaved his head.
No,
I know.
Though I'm thinking it's about time to cut the hair.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had long hair since I was like 17, man.
But are you gonna still wear the bandanas?
Oh yeah.
Then don't bother cutting.
I'm just thinking maybe just cut it like short, not like cut it like have like hair down to my shoulders or something. I don't know. I'm really getting tired of washing it. I just anyway. Also, I have longer hair than my wife now, and that's really weird.
That is weird.
But anyway, go ahead, take your shot if you got one. Don't got one? Okay.
He played trombone in the
Give us a
high school
clue.
band.
No.
Give
Billy
us a
Corgan is an
us a-
unabashed. Well, something that he
Oh, he's a wrestling fan.
he's a unabashed professional wrestling fan, and
He actually wrestled.
yeah, and he for TNA Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, he was like a booker for like which writes the storylines and whatever.
Well, that's got 2015. Billy Corgan was announced as the new senior producer of creative and talent development for TNA Wrestling.
Oh, he is a huge wrestling fan. He's a giant mark for it. He's on like wrestling podcasts all the time, and he's pretty insightful on it. And if you haven't watched the Andre the Giant documentary on HBO,
Yeah, you were talking about that.
you absolutely have to. It is heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking to watch it and kind of see how like just like how a guy kind of gave his life for a passion that he had and literally gave his life for it and died the same age as me, 46, died just like yeah, and like
there's two parts of that thing that I almost cried, and I'm not a big wrestling fan like you. When the guy who was his like handler,
his best friend Tim White,
talks about when he died,
yeah,
and he says that I just wish I was there with him,
yeah,
so he wouldn't die. I wouldn't have died alone in a hotel room.
Yeah, died all alone by himself in a hotel room in France.
It's kind of what all alone means.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing that happened earlier in the thing.
Well, there's the thing where Vince McMahon cracks. Like Vince McMahon is considered by many people to be a soulless bastard of a human being, and he almost breaks down. Like he's like just it was actually a moment where you're like, huh, maybe you have a soul. It's hidden and it's deep down, but it might be there. But
the other one was the same guy mentioned something about Andre's daughter.
Oh yeah. Well,
Are you guys watching Billions?
I watched like the first season.
Oh yeah, you got to watch it. It's good.
I'll say this, and I'll move on. The Andre the Giant thing. It's like they talk about how he would drink, like he could sit down and drink like most people sit down. I'm going to have a 6-pack. Like his beginning of the day would be drinking a case of beer, and like they would talk about the amount that he would drink and stuff like that. And it's probably a little bit of it is far fetched, and maybe not true, but like. They actually like when people realized the reason why he drank so much was because he was in constant pain because his body was too big and like every part of his body just hurt. So he was like, that's why he drank. It was like the only thing he could do to like, just numb his body. And you think about that, you're like, good Lord. Sad.
What is it on HBO?
Yeah, it's like 92 minutes. I mean,
the David Bowie documentary is good too. If you haven't seen that, I think it's on Showtime. Can't remember
which one.
David Bowie.
No, I didn't even know they has one.
Yeah, it's a. I forget where it starts. Like it starts at his last concert before he. Like one concert before he was diagnosed or something, before the final album. And then it goes through and it has all the recreation of like doing the songs from the album. It's pretty good.
I went to go see Island of Dogs. I'm a big Wes Anderson guy though. Or Isle of Dogs or whatever.
You love dogs?
I love dogs. Love my puppies. But no, it's vintage Wes Anderson. If you like Wes Anderson, you'll like it.
Vintage. Yeah, I mean,
It's-
all Wes Anderson is vintage Wes Anderson, right? Like,
Well,
how
I
does it
mean, yeah,
differ?
I mean,
It doesn't differ much from movie to movie.
I watched Grand
Although I
Budapest.
do like, yeah, Budapest way better than most of them.
Okay, so I watched Grand Budapest Hotel again because I was trying to decide if I liked that more than Tannenbaums. Because Tannenbaum, so
Yeah,
like,
I like the more than Tenenbaums.
so, but I got, Gene Hackman is so good as just like,
But those parts do not make up for the bullshit rest of the movie.
yeah, but I mean, there's like, I don't know, it's just Tenenbaums like hits a chord with me. You know, Bill Murray has a really great understated role in that. So I was trying to decide because I think they're neck and neck, and it could depend. I was trying to decide, so I was trying to rank them. So like Wes Anderson movies, I would have to go Budapest and Tannenbaum's like right there, right next to each other.
At number one.
Yeah, I mean, well, like 1 and 2, and they probably flop back and forth. After that, and this is not going to be a exciting. A lot of people will disagree with me on this one, but Steve Zissou goes with number 3, and it's just because it's, I mean, I realized the whole thing was just written for Bill Murray, and Bill Murray, they're like, okay, you can just be Bill Murray for like 2 hours, but I just there's just so much good stuff in there. Then you go to Rushmore, because Rushmore is just kind of like, really good. And then I go Isle of Dogs. And I'd actually go Fantastic Mr. Fox after Isle of Dogs. So it's kind of weird that the animation ones end up right next to each other. And so, but then after...
Where does the...
You're talking about Bottle Rocket?
No, not Bottle Rocket. The other one with the kids that run away or whatever, and they go...
I like Bottle Rocket next after that.
Moonlight something.
And then Moonlight, and then the last one's that one about the brothers in the train that I can't remember. Darjeeling Limited.
Yeah.
God, I did not like that movie. It was. I don't know. It was like,
what was the Moonlight name? Moonlight Sunrise? Is that name?
Something like that. Yeah. And I didn't. And the kids running away was just kind of like, it just didn't. I don't know. Like Bruce Willis didn't fit. He just did not fit. You were
Moonrise
really
Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom.
I thought it was
like
okay.
It was okay.
It triggered some nostalgia for me.
Do you guys see Ready Player One? Did you see Ready Player One?
I have seen Ready Player One. Yeah.
I got really strangely sad watching that movie when, and spoilers, when
spoilers.
Well, I mean, just when he points out like the manifestation of himself as a kid sitting in front of the TV playing old video games.
Oh yeah, that was a little sad. A little pathetic, right?
Well, it was just because that's what I did.
Yeah, of course.
And I was just like, and that was like my world back then. Like, oh, it's like I got home from school and I'm gonna plug in my Atari and I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna play video games instead of talking to people and like.
Yeah, but well, I don't know if I want to say anything about that commentary on modern day.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
I don't think it was anything like modern day, or like at least in my family, I went outside and could play outside without adult supervision. Now, no kids are allowed to go outside because it's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So they have to stay inside.
But that really, I don't know, that really hit me. I just felt sad, like really weirdly sad. And like up to that point, Ready Player One had just been kind of like a total bubblegum movie for me. Just like, okay, whatever, stuff's happening. And then that happened, and I was just kind of like, oh, that, that's kind of ouch. I mean, it was like, I don't know, it was. What I thought was so dumb in that whole movie. And
what? Which one? Which thing?
Okay, this is the stupid.
I liked it.
Well, no, I enjoyed it, but I just like it felt like it had the stupid thing where, like, okay, so like the ultra mega bad guy corporate guy, right?
Sure.
They throw him in the back of the police wagon or whatever with the woman that's like been his like whatever
the hit woman or whatever.
underling / hit woman or whatever, and like, and he just starts yelling at her again, and then she like punches him,
Right.
and I was just kind of like, is this a Disney movie all of a sudden? Because I was just like, it felt, and that's so stupid. It's such a stupid little small part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of like, that made no sense.
It was
at
like
all.
the end of Home Alone or something.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no danger.
Like,
there was never really any danger. It was so ham-fisted with the villain. Stupid villain. Was the password thing in the book?
I don't remember
the password.
I don't remember that being in the book.
Remember.
No, I don't think it was. Yeah, the guy.
Was his password like something like boner 42?
Yeah.
9. Like what?
It was just dumb. Whatever. I mean, there was stuff in there that was just dumb, and I was really, and like I said, annoyed that they didn't really put the D&D stuff in.
There was a picture of the Tomb of Annihilation, Sphere of Annihilation.
The Sphere of Annihilation, yeah.
The monster face was on the back of the van.
And that was it. Well, and then
there was a D&D logo.
The gold mines of Gygax.
Yeah, the gold mine. Well, I think it was when he was at the store. I could see a D&D like logo. Yep. Well, here's the thing. I want to watch it again, like when it comes out on rental, whatever, to see all the things I didn't see because it goes by so fast.
Like the one thing that really bothered me too is, okay, so here's the race or whatever, and this is the first thing. If you can beat this race,
yep,
then you're gonna get the first key.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the first key of 3 keys.
Mm-hmm.
That if you pull it off, you get the world. And everybody uses this thing.
Yep.
There would be 1 billion people racing in that race.
Yes.
It
would not be like 50 cars or whatever.
It would not be 50 cars. And it wasn't like,
maybe it ran like, it only ran once per day, right?
Yeah. And it's like, it isn't like there was like, it wasn't like there was like it's like you have to have a certain amount of money to race, because at the very first race he doesn't have any money, right? Because he's got to scrape the money from all the other people that are crashing.
Yeah, I felt the world was small. It made everything feel really small. Whereas in the beginning, in the book, he was stuck on the planet with the school.
Yeah.
Right, he couldn't leave that planet because he had no money.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my I'm still waiting for my Snow Crash movie.
God, that'll never come out.
Well, it's been in development hell for 20 years or whatever. So,
and I feel like that story is kind of old now.
What a great book, though.
Yeah.
That and Cryptonomicon, I reread those like once every year.
What's his name? Hero Protagonist.
Hero Protagonist.
Hero Protagonist.
Hero Protagonist.
Pizza delivery in under 5 minutes.
What was it? It's pizza delivery and the greatest swordsman in the world.
And pizza delivery boy.
Yeah, I like how they like in the net when he like as he's walking and the guy challenges him to a duel or whatever in the multiverse or whatever it is, and so he defeats the guy, handily, and then, like he said, somewhere there is a very angry Japanese businessman being dumped out of the net or whatever, and on his screen, it's telling him that he is currently ranked number 33,762 as far as swordsman in the world. If he scrolls all the way to the top, he will see the number 1 swordsman in the world is Hero Protagonist. Neil Stevenson can write. Have you read his book Remedy?
No,
Do it.
I've only read Snow Crash.
Snow Crash. Oh, you haven't read Cryptonomicon? You need to read Cryptonomicon.
Too much for me.
Too much?
Yeah, I think it's too much.
What do you mean it's too much? It's like 600 pages. It's nothing.
Yeah, it's a little too long.
What, does it got to be a picture book?
No.
I don't know. He has the ability to write.
I'm not much of a
scenes.
reader.
No, you should become one. It's good for you. He has the ability to write scenes that are really good. So, like, there's a scene in the Cryptonomicon where, like, one of the characters, because it tells the story from like multiple viewpoints and multiple eras. And one of the eras is World War II, and it's like right after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and the character gets drafted into like the Navy, and he's in a classroom, and then there's this guy who comes in, and he doesn't look like he's in the Navy. He's just like wearing like a weird overcoat and whatever, and he starts just giving like a speech, and he's just like, and he writes all these like dashes on the board, and he's kind of explaining how, if you come up with he's basically doing a cipher. If you can come up with an idea that this number means this, then that means this, and he's sitting there going through the whole thing, and then and like the character is just sitting there, and he just has a mind that allows him to figure out codes, and so as the guy is talking, he figures out that like basically the guy wrote in code, the attack on Pearl Harbor is scheduled for December 7th at 6 a.m. and the guy's in mid speech, and he figures out with the whole thing, and he blurts it out as the guy's talking, and the guy is just like, he's like, get him a copy of the Cryptonomicon, and you may as well promote him to lieutenant too. Yeah, just like he just got drafted. But he's like, it's stuff like that. He just like he writes really good scenes in that you can kind of see them.
Maybe I'll pick it back up again.
He's good stuff. All right, it's after midnight. I don't know. Anthony's dead. I don't even know what Anthony's doing.
Is it midnight?
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just not talking.
No, I was just waiting for you to finish talking.
Okay.
You see the Venom trailer by the Jenny Chance?
I did. I'm like, whatever.
Is that a Spider-Man thing?
Yeah. It's horrible.
But that's a Sony picture, right?
Yeah, it's a horrible trailer.
It doesn't inspire me at all. But whatever.
Homecoming was kind of good. It was Homecoming, right? Like the recent one.
Yeah,
but that was done by Marvel Studios.
Oh, and this is not.
Nope.
Ooh. Okay.
This is a Sony
They think
in
they
association with Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all going to be owned by Disney eventually at some point. So.
Yeah.
They're buying Fox now.
They'll own the whole damn thing. Oh, that was the other thing. So I started to talk about Star Wars again. So no, I read.
We got to bookend the show.
Yeah, bookend it with Star Wars.
Okay, so I read another article, and they talked about the $1.3 billion that Star Wars made, but they actually talked about the financials of.
They made no money.
Like the financials of how much they paid for the Star Wars franchise, and basically like interest and returns and things like that, and the way it works is that like I forget how it is. You can find it online if you Google it, but and this is not and like there was also like another article I read, a chart on Star Wars toys, like that's like the franchise, like the toys have always been a way.
Watch that Netflix thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but before we go, did you watch that Netflix toys show?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Watch it if you haven't.
But they were talking about the toys, and they were talking about how the new Star Wars toys are hitting clearance racks at like hyperspace speed. Like the only ones that are making any money are like the Legos, but Legos always make money. Like
they've hit clearance in 12 parsecs.
well, no, it's just like they were talking about how like
Well, I'm just trying
they're
to.
and like they actually like showed how they went into like all the Toys R Us's that are like the Toys R Us's that are shutting down.
Yeah.
Like they showed like this thing where like basically they went into these Toys R Us's that are shutting down. They went into like 3 or 4 of them, and like pretty much the only toys still left on the shelves are the Star Wars toys. Like nobody's buying them, even when they're giving them away. Basically,
I mean, I'm trying to think of the latest movie. It's like, well, what? I mean, unless it's like a Rey figure, like who do you buy? Like, what figure do you buy, or what?
Well,
like,
here's
sucked.
Here's something that like
I was unconscious half the movie.
Well, here's something that I was thinking about. It's like, and I'm sorry to talk about this, but I mean, so the next movie comes out, number 9, right? To finish off the story or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. So
number 9, empowered by Board Game Geek.
Yeah, Power. Yeah.
Sweet.
So let's think about this. So what? We're supposed to get excited about Rey taking on Kylo? Well, she's beat him twice. So why are we worried?
No, he's gonna beat her now.
Well,
It's sad ending. She's dead.
Wait.
We're starting out. We're doing our predictions way too early.
Yeah. But anyway,
I guarantee you, Lance, that when you see that first trailer, you're gonna be like, "Yep, I'm going to see it."
Well, I already know I'll go see it. I just because I have to at this point.
You have to make a clean break and be like done, complete. Yeah.
No,
in my life of 47 years or whatever it is, at 48 years, you've seen all the Star Wars movies.
But they talked about it, and like basically like after the marketing budget and everything else that they spent on The Last Jedi, they made approximately like $320 million, which isn't that bad, right? It's around $20 million. I mean, how could you complain about that? But because of how much they paid for the Star Wars franchise,
what did they pay for it? Do you know?
It was like $4.6 billion or something like that.
It's a long-term investment.
It's like they
gotta start making more movies. That's why they're cranking them out once a year.
Well, yeah, and it needed to make around $690 million, and it made about half of that
to hit their projections of what they need
to hit. Yeah, to what the return was supposed to be.
I hate big companies, man. Suck. They just
I mean, it's just and
except for the Marvel stuff, they seem to have not screwed that up. They're letting them alone.
I don't know. I'll see when I go see this last movie, but I mean, I'm just
you want to see Solo?
Well, I'll go see Solo, yeah.
And are you going to go see the new trilogy by Ryan, or what's his name?
No.
Ryan Johnson.
I will not, because he.
And who else got a series? Someone else got a movie trilogy. We talked about it before. I can't remember now.
I don't know.
Didn't Kevin Smith get offered one?
No. He wishes.
No, it wasn't a movie. It was something else.
Kevin Smith needs to finish writing his Spider-Man story that he started. No, his Batman story that he started like 10 years ago, and he hasn't finished. No,
Batman
he did.
Sucks.
Oh,
it's not my Batman.
No, shut up. No, Kevin Smith wrote like a he was writing a Batman like storyline, and like he got done with like the first like six out of 12, and then he just stopped. And it's just like, and he left it in total cliffhanger, like it was it's just like basically like this insane guy had like killed or had like slashed the throat of this woman that Bruce Wayne was dating, and he was like getting ready to like kill like Bruce Wayne, and the guy knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman, and so it's just and people are just like, is this ever coming out? He's like, oh, I'm gonna have it done, just like, I don't know. Kevin Smith. Yeah, he's.
So there's another thing to watch. Actually, I watched it before I left town. It's something about how the Brits made Star Wars. Have you heard about that? It's a little YouTube video.
How the Brits made Star Wars?
Is it
Well,
all the
It's a
British
documentary.
actors in Star Wars, or
It's documentary length a movie on YouTube.
Well, they made the British people all the bad people in the movie.
except
there
for
was some-
Chewbacca?
Yeah, here it is. It's Star Wars made great in Britain.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Is that the
You know,
one?
all the bad guys.
You know what I mean? If you
That's not
shut up. Go look at like all the Empire guys. They're all guys with British accents.
It was it featured that director. I think it sort of came out at the time of Rogue One. Maybe they took it down. Crap.
See, I like how I don't understand how people are. There's a lot of people that say that Rogue One was horrible, and I don't understand those people at all. I don't know.
Rogue
You know,
One was
they-
horrible, wasn't it?
No, it was the Rogue One was actually like. I mean, it wasn't. It
It
was good.
was not good.
Oh,
It was
what?
okay.
It was better than that pile of filth, the Jedi thing.
I know. We're going down this path.
All right, I'll put you on a different
We got
path.
the Emperor
I'll put you
laughing
on a
in the
different
back.
path, Mister. That's not my book. That's different than the book guy. Did you see the info they
I'm gonna
released
find this for
on,
you because it's
on
really
the
worth
new
watching.
Watchmen project?
No what?
No.
So they're doing Watchmen on HBO.
Oh, okay,
Apparently, it's a series. It's a limited series, but they've already said it does not follow the storylines in the book.
What the fuck is the point then?
I think it may be
It's just
a
gonna be
overarching storyline like the book, but it's not going to stay true to the book. But if it doesn't start with the Pagliacci's thing, then that just sucks.
Yeah, I'm just whatever. It just seems dumb to me. But whatever. It is 12:30. I got a big day tomorrow, so.
Let me
let
find
you
that
boys-
Star Wars thing for you before you go. I'm almost
well-
there. I'm almost got it.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop the broadcast.
Okay,
and then
whatever.
you can find it. So, as
It's
always,
really good. It's British. It's the British making of Star Wars. I get it from the British side. It's pretty cool. Wish I could remember the name of the title of the YouTube.
so do I.
Like
all right.
Nazi Titanic.
There you go. The Nazi Titanic. Thank you everybody for tuning in and having a good time. I got my one guy done and I got a guy half done. So I guess I got some painting done. I kind of look forward to doing this for real. Like I gotta get a little tripod.
Man.
I gotta get a little tripod.
Oh,
like,
there's
put
tons
right
of
over
little
there.
tripods,
God,
yeah.
I really, Dad. Thanks for telling me. I gotta get a little tripod.
Trying to help you, Lance.
Yeah, I know.
All I'm trying to do is help you.
Well, you know what? The Alaboom can be powered by BGG if the price is right. Just so you know.
I told you we could power it up with all the lemonade we can drink. We'll send coolers to everybody.
Lemonade better be
We'll just drink all night.
Lemonade better be code for fat stacks.
And you let me talk long enough that I found the video. It's called The Galaxy Britain Built, and I will post it in the chat. Although it probably won't let me post the link. Will it? Nope, didn't let me post the link.
Here's my challenge to the people that watch this after the fact, posting comments. Tell me if you have a Hardee's or Carl's Jr. in your area. I want to know. I'll know if you watched the whole thing. If you just post like Hardee's or Carl's Jr. We should do that. Anthony, give them a question. Give them a question they have to answer, and they can post in the comments.
Okay, so you have to put fast burger as your hashtag.
No, ask a question so it's
Wait.
interactive.
I'm going to ask a question. You're going to hashtag it with fast burger.
Okay, hashtag.
And you have to let us know your favorite fast food burger, where it's from, and where your least favorite one is from.
Well, that's a lot of work.
That is too much work. Just favorite. Yeah, I think favorite would be good.
All right, fine. See, you tell me to do something, and right away, and all the the big shots
chicken
jump in.
sandwiches count.
No burgers.
Burgers. No one's watching this part of the show. I mean, come on.
Five Guys.
4 hours later.
Five Guys. That's good stuff.
Is Five Guys watching the show?
I don't know. But Five Guys is good burgers. You have a Five Guys?
They were.
Does it have to be a national chain? Can it be like a
No,
local?
it can
Fast
be
food.
anything.
Just a fast food burger place.
Yeah. There's a place in Dallas called Keller's. It's a drive-in. It's my favorite burger.
There you go.
Done.
By my
Keller's
area,
driving.
there's a place that's called of course now I can't think of it because my mind is drawing a blank here. Basically they have like they have 100 taps and it is they have burgers there, and it's nothing special now, but at the very beginning they were like the only place in town that was putting a fried egg on your burger. But they have like this really nice, like, kind of, they call it a breakfast sauce, and it's just like, and it's like got some jalapenos in it and some onions, and it's like a patty.
Man, stop.
It's like a fried egg, that little, and then the sauce on top of the egg, and then they put 2 strips of bacon on top of that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a dang good burger, and they call it the Humpty Dump.
I wish you guys came to Reno, because we stumbled upon a place that was just amazing called Juicy's.
I wasn't allowed to go.
Why?
Because I'm not media enough.
You're not a publisher yet.
I'm not a publisher yet. I'm not.
You're in the phantom zone. Of sorts. Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah. Hey, hang out. I'm gonna cancel breakfast, so we're gonna go.
All right, bye guys.
All right,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night.